Hey, everybody, welcome to Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, we are literally at the weekend. We made it. We survived. We are here. And I'll tell you, there's no place that I'd rather be than with all of you tonight. Hello and welcome. If you don't know who the hell I am, my name is Dave Scott, and I am the guy in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. And we got a great guest for you tonight. My man, Jesus Payan. How you doing, buddy? It's been a long time.
It's been a while. How you doing?
I am good, my friend. And we're going to get into some Bigfoot talk with Jesus. And if you recognize him, you're probably a fan of Breaking Bad. You're probably a fan of Better Call Saul and a bunch of other Hollywood roles that this great gentleman and Bigfoot researcher has taken on. And we're lucky to have him here tonight. Before we get too involved with our big friend here, you probably know him as Gonzo. Let's give a rundown of everybody who is in our chat room tonight. We got SJ in the gold medal position. And I forget who's taking home silver tonight. I think it's, I know it's not Race Fan. Who the hell came in second? My chat room jumped. But I know that we have Cosmic Fleur in bronze. Jack Clark. Jack Clark took home the silver. That's right. Hey, Trucker Andrew, how you doing? The lovely and talented Emily Bigelow, otherwise known as Alaska's greatest athlete, is here. We got Race Fan. We have the gorgeous Steph Dickey, James Fedke. How are you? Good to see you. Jeffrey DeRuin, nice to have you back, man. Thank you for joining us. Ed Clater kicking off the super chat tonight. Thank you so much, Ed. We appreciate your support of SOR. Carol Burke, you're looking lovely tonight. Thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Mama Susan, typical watch. My brother Gary, how you doing? P3 Productions, good to see you, brother. And let's see, who else do we got here? Scrolling on down, we got Major Lee. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Really do appreciate it. Parkway, good to see you. Umuamua, nice to have you back as we scroll on down and get things going here. Sean, Mental Pancakes, good to see you guys. Thank you for joining us. Michael Morris, always a pleasure to have you in the chat room. 11, nice to have you here. Moosehead, good to see you. Kurt Seltzer with a splash of lime. Thank you for coming on in. Really do appreciate it. Mr. Duff, how are you? The lovely Julie Kay has returned. The awesome cat chaser. The gorgeous Jennifer Hawkins has returned. Her third night in a row. This is a hat trick for her. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Bonjour, Julien. Comment ça va? Vive les habitants. Mais oui. All right. Mr. Nucker, how are you? How about them Habs tonight? Jose, good to see you. The lovely Helena. Fast Hemi, where have you been hiding, man? 416, good to see you. Double Tim, nice to have you here. The lovely and talented Wheat King. Yes, it's Manitoba Becky, everyone. There she is. She'll be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind. And we got the lovely and talented Christy Bergeron here. It's her first time in the chat. Welcome to our chat room. Mondak, good to see you. Uncle Dale and his power stash. If you're in Austin, Texas, make sure you find Uncle Dale, rub his power stash for good luck. You may win the Powerball. It is that simple, people. All right, lovely Linda Bennett, good to see you. Gorgeous Ange from Australia has returned. Molotov, how you doing? Richard Elmore, good to see you. Noble Patrick and Big J, thank you for coming on in. The gorgeous Marie and Michael Lastuca are here. Boz Monster, good to see you, my friend. $5,900, nice to have you back. The Jim Christie is here, everyone. The Jim Christie. Jay Breezy, nice to have you here. Cloudy, good to have you back. And I think we're almost caught up. I'm almost out of breath. Oh, there's our man Abe. Abe is here. He's a good Mennonite kid. All right. Let's see here. Now we'll scroll to the bottom and scroll back up top. All right. Got all them. Blue Book, good to see you. And the lovely and talented Kara Barr is here. Yes, Troy Kluche is here, everyone. He's a good hockey fan. He will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, to the left. Fabster, good to see you, my man. How are you? And I think we are all caught up. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. I'm alive still, so that's a good sign.
That is, man. That is. I'm so excited to have you on. It's been so long.
I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back.
All right, we got about 40 seconds here, and we want to say hello to Richard Elmore, to Drake, and let's see, who else? I don't know. But a good way to support this show, everyone, is by hitting that super chat and hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring that bell because we are here 7 days a week, 9 p.m. Pacific. I'm here Monday through Friday. Lynn Wallington on Saturdays. Michael W. Hall on Sundays. And tonight we are talking Bigfoot all night long. Why wouldn't we? It's Friday night woo night, and I know our man, Jesus Payan, a.k.a. Gonzo, has some great stories. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Jesus Payan Jr. is an actor who plays Gonzo on the hit television series Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, along with numerous other movies with Steven Segal and Mark Wahlberg. However, his lifelong passion is going to look for Sasquatch. The Sasquatch first entered the bigger-than-life actor via a book by Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World at the age of 5. In the year 2000, while living in New Mexico's Lincoln County National Forest, he heard his first Sasquatch make 2 long haunting calls that silenced the entire forest. And this began his lifelong quest, trying to find the big, hairy beast that roams our continent. Jesus Payan Jr., welcome back to Spaced Out Radio. I think it's been about 3 years since we've had you on, but damn it, man, that is way too long. I am so glad you are back. How you doing, my friend?
I am, as you can see, hairless.
I am not.
Yeah, I had grown my beard out real long, and then, well, like I said, because of my career and the different things that I'm working on, calls for different looks. And right now, I just restarted the process of growing my mustache and goatee for my next endeavor that's pertaining to Breaking Bad.
Nice. So what have you been working on, man? I noticed you got a new tattoo as well.
Yeah. Since what was it, 2017?
2017, 2018-ish, yeah.
Somewhere around there, yeah. No, I've been concentrating on what I'm doing right now with the Bigfoot thing. So I've been mainly sticking with the whole paranormal thing, doing, special guest appearances on some shows and stuff like that. But yeah, I've kind of like stepped back from the whole film scene and as in playing the bad guy for a little while here. I wrote the script for a prequel to Better Call Saul called Breaking Burke, but it's a funding issue. So until we raise the money,
that's Hollywood, though. That's Hollywood, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, like a lot of people don't understand that a lot of the stuff they watch currently or is being made has been in the works for over a decade, waiting for funding and sponsors and permits and all kinds of crazy stuff, So it's a real long process. But I already showed the script to Vince Gilligan, and he liked the idea, of showing how me and Tuco end up working together and all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, I just been concentrating on my research and staying involved with that. And like the last time I saw you, what was the extent of my
Oh, good.
So
You know,
you know what I mean? Like what?
the last time I had you on, we didn't even talk Bigfoot. You actually called me up and said, "Dave, I need to get this off my chest." And you actually told us for the first time ever about your alien abduction.
Okay, cool. So since then, in 2017, begin 2017, 26, the end of 2016, I got footage of a Sasquatch walking across the field in the Navajo Reservation in Upper Fruitland, New Mexico.
No.
Yeah, and then, after that, in southern New Mexico, in the Lincoln County National Forest, where it all began, up in Cloudcroft, I got pictures of two big feet looking in my tent. So I got actual photos of them looking inside my tent. And the guy I was with, it scared the crap out of him. He didn't believe in Bigfoot, and that's why we were out that night, because I was trying to show him that Bigfoot's real. And he believes in Bigfoot now, but haven't seen him since that morning. It's been 3 years, 4 years, going on 4 years now.
Well, since you and I last talked, I had an incredible Bigfoot experience with a couple of friends of mine.
Cool.
And we actually were in the forest doing a paranormal investigation at a crash site where we actually took this deer trail, and in behind the crash site, there was this big meadow. We walk into this meadow. Our armed guard stays right on the area because in that area, literally, man, there's grizzly bears, there's cougars, there's giant moose, black bears, like a lot of stuff that wants to kill you and eat you. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to go in with an armed guard into that area. Right. And so we're standing there in this meadow, and all of a sudden we hear, you know, and I look at my buddy Merle and I'm like, "Did you hear that?" He's like, "Hear what, Dave?" I'm like, "That talk." And he's like, "Yep." And then we yelled over at our buddy Mark, and Mark's like, "No, I didn't say a thing, man." And all of a sudden it happened again. So we go back to the crash site, and Mark kind of wanders off into the path area where the old recovery trucks used to turn around. It's like a mini cul-de-sac in there. And I'm kind of standing in between Mike and Merle's at the back at part of the wreckage, and he's trying to get his investigation. And all of a sudden he starts getting huffed and puffed from in behind the bushes, like 20 feet. And then Mark at the same time in a different direction is lowering his rifle to something coming at him through the forest, because Mark's literally been in the forest for like 35 years, man. He's been a hunting guide and an animal pest control tracker, hunting wolves, hunting big cats. He knows his stuff in the forest, and he lowers his gun, man, to whatever's coming at him. All I know is we got forced out of that trail, man. We got forced out, and that was kind of creepy.
Not bad. It's something, once you experience that, you're never the same, and you can't stop wondering or wanting to figure it out.
No kidding. Let's get a bunch of questions. We're going to talk a lot of Sasquatch tonight with you. But for you, I mean, people know you as being the big tough guy on TV and probably now the big tough guy in the forest. How did you find the fascination for cryptid research?
Well, like you said, from a young age, reading like Mysterious World, and then when I was 4, we went to Scotland, and I got to hunt for Nessie for 2 weeks for the Loch Ness monster. And then growing up in school, I wasn't a big guy until later in like high school, junior high. I was actually really thin and short, and got bullied a whole bunch. So I would dive into the world of books, and whenever there was any book fairs or anything like that, I would buy anything that was about Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, and I also was seeing UFOs all the time and strange things in my house and ghost stuff. The Bigfoot thing didn't come till much later in my life, like you had said earlier, in 2000, to where I actually started hearing it myself or hunting it. But up until that point, that was all just research and books. So we didn't, up until 2000, unless you had the big money, you really didn't have internet until a little bit later. but we had just got the internet in 2000, so that's when I was able to jump online when we heard those two calls. And I looked up audio of recordings of Sasquatch and found the same exact sounds, which was just blew my mind, because when I heard those noises, yeah, it shut the whole forest down. It shut up bugs, shut up birds, shut up. I mean, it's a crazy silence that happens. It's nothing compares to it. But through all my childhood, teenage years, no matter what nonsense I was going through, yeah, I was always seeing UFOs and being visited and dealing with ghosts. Didn't matter where I lived or moved to, there was always some kind of ghost somewhere. People died everywhere. But yeah, it was just as of late, I've just been concentrating on Bigfoot because, yeah, I want to contribute to anthropology, and I'm working with two anthropologists right now. One being Jeff Meldrum from Ohio State University and Christopher Dyer from Virginia State University. I'm doing research for Christopher Dyer right now. We're working together on a scientific paper on the social behavior of Sasquatch. So,
Nice. How'd you get involved with that?
well, because of wonderful people like you that put it out there for me. I have my own channel now. I've dedicated to Sasquatch research, breaking Bigfoot on YouTube, and people have noticed. People have taken notice, and the research I've done, the footage I've caught, the evidence I've got, so many pictures and tons of structures, and just I've done so much research and work in the field now that they're coming to me for information. They're asking me my opinion, and these are PhDs and people that take it seriously. So it got to the point where I realized that I think, a responsibility in the Bigfoot world community to take it, to a whole different level and try to do something more than that's normally being done. There's no real direction or guidance. We have no. They say there's no experts in Bigfoot, which there's. If you want to get technical, there's not experts in anything. There's always more to learn. But any subject you have authorities, and I consider like Jeff Meldrum an authority on the morphology of Sasquatch feet and prints, and the morphology of all that. So I want to be someone that I can, people can look to, learn from, and yeah, I'm still learning every day, but I'd like to think that I know quite a bit about the subject now from everything that I've done and researched.
But you also come from a very spiritual family too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my ancestry, I come from the Mayan people, and the splash of Pacific Islander, and then on the European side, I come from a French background, and one of the Payans that goes way back then was the founder of the Knights Templar. And the Mayans that I come from were the royal Mayans, and they were shamans and priests. And I'm a pastor, Christian pastor, but I still study, and I don't hold anything like Native American religions, or however you want to look at it, their ways, traditional ways. I have nothing against that. I support it. It's real. Um, yeah, not a hater.
Yeah, me either, man. Me either. It's a family of one. A family of one.
Exactly.
The way I like to conduct things, man, is if you're bleeding red, which all of us are, you're part of the family. That's all that matters. But for you, I mean, and the reason why I asked that about your spiritual side is, you have had paranormal encounters, you have had extraterrestrial encounters, you've kind of run the gamut now, and now the focus is on Sasquatch. Are those encounters with the others still happening?
Yeah, not as much because I'm not looking for it. So, but I still see UFOs. Just go outside, I'll see a UFO at least once a week if I try not to look. Um, I'm still dealing with spirits, and get visits I try to ignore them for now. Like I said, I'm trying to concentrate on Bigfoot, and that's enough craziness as it is. But everything else is still happening, but not as frequent. I would say like the visitations and stuff like that. It's been a long time. I personally asked them if you are going to be doing that. I don't want to remember right now. I'm trying to concentrate on other things in my life and changing my life. And I got married since I last seen you, and
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
thank you. So I'm doing the married life now, and trying to, like I said, focus on Bigfooting and building up my equipment. I bought a travel trailer, and just trying to buy everything that I need so I can make this a actual future in what I'm doing. Of course, I'll never, not be in the world of, film and TV and stuff, but I want to be doing, more conferences and books and documentaries. I've been working a lot more on more documentary stuff now,
Good
because
for
that's what
you.
I like to leave. The legacy I want to leave is not just, I played a bad guy, got murdered a bunch of times, got killed a bunch of times in different ways, and beat up. And
How many
it's
times have you
cool.
died? How many times have you died now?
I'd say over 30 times, 35 times now.
And yet you can still come back. You've got that voodoo going on.
Yeah, after 3 days, every time.
Jesus Payan Jr., otherwise known as Gonzo from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, is here. You know what? I have to say this, man. Your YouTube channel, Breaking Bigfoot, dude, that has every piece of reality TV for History Channel or sci-fi going on for Bigfoot. How come you're not on the mainstream yet, man?
It's a good question. I like to think my show's a decent show. It's fun to watch. I try to make it a slightly humorous, certain times. At the beginning, I like to do some intros that are fun, and yeah, I got lots of evidence. Got really good pictures. Yeah, it's just an issue of the people putting me out there, and because like I get a lot of people that are like, "Why do you only have so many thousand subscribers? You should have a way more. Why haven't I seen this channel? Why hasn't it been advertised? On my YouTube?" It's like I put it out there. I started a Facebook group. I posted in groups that have 50,000 people, 60,000 people in it, Bigfoot groups, and I just keep on going. Well, I'm not gonna stop. My laptop crapped out recently, so I got to buy another laptop. But so that's putting a slowed down my video output for the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I try to do a couple videos a week, and yeah, because of vehicles breaking or whatever, I don't get to always get to the mountains every week. So
I hear you. You know what we'll do on YouTube is we'll match each other's, because you know how you can have favorite channels hooked up to yours? We'll hook each other's up. So that way you can take my subscribers, I can take your subscribers, and we'll share them up. How about that, bro?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. I got to tell you, when I think of New Mexico, I think of aliens. I think of a lot of hippies. I think of a lot of military. I don't think of Sasquatch. Right. I had no idea you guys were getting that much action in the beautiful state of New Mexico.
Oh yeah. See, and that's the crazy thing is that right here in this area, we have a White Sands National Monument. You've heard of White Sands, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you remember the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
How can I forget?
Okay, well that actually happened here. That's where the story came from. It actually went down in the 50s. So that's where they got the story from to make the movie. Now, White Sands Missile Range, also they had recently found out there that this area was home to megafauna. And they had found 22-inch footprints, fossilized footprints in White Sands, 8 inches wide of, giant footprints. And then later, there's been multiple military reports, encounters that have come forward of actual Sasquatch sightings as of in the last 50 years. And then finding out, you go to the BFRO website and type in New Mexico and type in Otero County, you'll see here, right here in these mountains right next to me where I'm living, there's a bunch of reports in the reservation here, Mescalero Apache, And then, I did more research and uh, found out that there's been reports of Bigfoot all over these mountains, which got
Wow.
me, focusing on the Cloudcroft area and yeah, finding all the stuff I found, pictures of juveniles, Bigfoots, baby Bigfoots up in trees, and tons of structures, and I'm looking in my tent. And if you've gone through my videos, um, also looking in my tent was what looks like a green skin, red-eyed gray, which is,
Oh,
would not make it a gray, but it'd be a green. But you know what I mean. But they were all three together, two Bigfoots and a green gray. You know, lots of weird stuff going on out here. Lots of weird stuff.
no kidding. And for the action that you guys are getting up there, is it normal as what you're seeing on the West Coast, or in the northern reaches of central United States heading into Canada?
What do you mean?
Well, up here we seem to see a larger creature. It seems a little bit more docile. That 7 to 10 foot range,
Oh
where
yeah,
the central seems to be the same. But if you go down into like New Orleans and Arkansas and Oklahoma, it seems to be a little bit more of an aggressive creature.
yeah. I would say definitely more less aggressive because we've had the Bigfoots out here like in the middle of the daytime. They've been spotted like in Ruidoso Downs, Ruidoso, New Mexico, in the middle of the day behind the Walgreens digging through the trash. And somebody sees them, they're just like, okay, we'll walk back in the forest. We've had another Bigfoot and a juvenile walk into a woman's cabin. Uh, wasn't going, "Rah!" Just walked in. Her and her kids ran into the bedroom, locked the door, and the Bigfoot's, it was a female and a child, but a big child. We rummaged through her fridge and cupboards for about half an hour and then left.
No
Weren't
way.
weren't violent at all. The ones I've dealt with, they've all been nice to me. None of them have done anything, scurry. I've never felt in danger, you know. So yeah, there's definitely big difference. And like I said, they get really really big out here too. I mean, the thing is they use the cave systems down here to get across the whole mountain range. And when there's huge fires and stuff like that, that's where they go. But yeah, we've got some big boys because that tent I was in, I'm 6'3", 6'4" with some really good boots on, and the tent I was in, I could stand up in and not touch my head. And if you look at the pictures in that video on my YouTube, they're looking down, like
Through the mesh
straight.
part.
Yeah, they're looking down at me. They're not like going like trying to look in. No, they're looking straight down. So what easily they had to have been an 8 foot plus. The ones that were looking in, and there was a Bigfoot. J.C. Johnson. Are you familiar with J.C. Johnson?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I am.
he had passed not too long ago. He had sent me some pictures, and he asked me if I could enhance them for him. And these pictures were of a big Sasquatch sitting down by some trees in Madrid, like in the Madrid area. And these trees are called the pinon trees, and they average 8 to 12 feet tall. Okay. Now the thing is, this Sasquatch is sitting by the trees. The trees come up halfway on the Sasquatch sitting down.
That's a big guy.
So even if they were the smallest version of these trees at 8 foot, so if he's sitting down and those trees are only half as tall as him, that means that we're talking about a 15, 16 foot
No
Sasquatch.
kidding. Jesus, I'm going to get you to hold on right there if you don't mind. Gonzo, a.k.a. Jesus Payan Jr., talking Sasquatch with us on Spaced Out Radio. We're going to get into some really cool stories coming up right after this. All right, we're clear. I got us on, built up my radio station collection. We're on to 6 terrestrial radio stations now.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Slowly but surely.
Right?
Slowly but surely, the name's getting out there, which is kind of cool. So that's kind of cool. Hello, Bama. Boom to you. And Travis, how you doing, man? Good to see you. There we go. Oh, man. I'm just like 16 feet. 16 feet.
Minimum.
Yeah. See, I heard about these 14, 15 footers, like, because everything gets bigger the more north you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've heard in BC, Yukon, Alaska of these 15, 16 footers, 14 footers.
Yep.
But they're rare. But then again, there's so few people in those areas. Is the creature rare or the people that are seeing it rare? You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you look at the maps of just the cities of America, okay, or say Canada, the cities,
Yeah.
and then you look at the sightings maps, there's more sightings near people. So, if these creatures know better, these giant ones, because it's way harder for them to hide, it would make sense that they're going to be in areas that humans don't frequent hardly at all. So there would be way less sightings of them.
Makes sense. Makes good sense. Hi, D. McKenna. How are you? Who else has come on in? Fast Hemi. Nobody can replace the late great Art Bell. Nobody. But that's another story for another time.
Right.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to think. I got to hook you up with my guy Duke from World Bigfoot Radio. I don't know if you know Duke.
I don't know him personally, but I've heard of the show.
I know he's in the chat room tonight. Great guy. Really, really knowledgeable guy. And he's hooked me up with some great people. A guy named Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Nate Rudd out of Washington State. And one of the guys who's now helping me behind the scenes, Gary Spikes Jr. Dude, you have to, if you start doing a podcast format, you got to get Gary on the shirt. On the show, man, because I just read a Vin Cruz shirt, Dave. Are you a bat boy for the Yankees? I wish I would be a bat boy for the Yankees. But Gary is a veteran and actually had a face-to-face encounter where the Sasquatch was literally looking in his truck window while he was sleeping.
Wow.
It's friggin' intense, dude. Really intense. Yeah.
Oh, it is. I'll tell you that.
Hello, gorgeous Jordan Ashley Pettit. How are you? Nice to have you back. Let's give you a little love right there. There you are. All right. And yeah, man, I could hook you up with some good people. These guys like started with Nate Rudd and Bigfoot Rob, and then all of a sudden Duke started coming into my chat room every night, and then Gary, he hooked me up with Gary, and he's hooked me up with all of these incredible Sasquatch people between Duke and Nate. And like I said, Gary and Bigfoot Rob, they've been incredible in like all of a sudden, like the people I know in Sasquatch land has exploded, and I'll get you into that group, man.
Cool.
There's a lot of good intel there. A lot of good intel. Mm-hmm. Nate actually just worked on a television show. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say with whom, but he just did a television show up in Spokane. So that's kind of cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I just got he did an episode on me, or part of an episode for Travel Channel. I think it's Travel Channel's Paranormal Caught on Video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a season 4, episode 12. And they show my footage of the Bigfoot walking across the field.
Which video is that on your channel?
That would be not the Bigfoot on a Navajo Res.
I'm just trying to quickly find it here. How long ago was that?
There's a new version of it. The original is way at the bottom, but I think I made that one unavailable to see. So it's not.
Oh, the Navajo one here.
Yeah, documentary.
All right.
Yeah.
Better mute that. All right, we got 20 seconds to go here. Thank you to Sinister. 1 sec. Thank you to Sinister Vax. Thank you to Andrew, Major Lee, and Ed for the incredible super chats. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, let's get going here right now, man. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. The man known as Gonzo on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, Jesus Payan Jr., now spends his time, when he's not acting, chasing around the forests of New Mexico looking for Sasquatch. And man, does he have some incredible footage that he has collected over the last couple of years. We're going to get into some stories here. And Jesus, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, on your YouTube channel, which people can just type in Breaking Bigfoot on YouTube, and we highly suggest that they go and hit that subscribe button while they're there, you have a video of a Sasquatch there. Now, yes. For our video channels, do you mind if we actually play that from your channel?
Feel free.
All right, I'll let you break it down here because I've pulled it up here.
Oh, okay.
If you don't mind. And for our radio audience, we're going to have to really paint a picture here. So I'm going to bring this up for us here and set the scene for us, if you don't mind.
So, mind you, I'm filming this with a cell phone, and I am zoomed in all the way. It's a good phone because that's a quarter mile away what you're seeing. I'd been on this reservation, Navajo Reservation in Upper Fruitland, New Mexico, northern New Mexico, for months, doing research, and a couple from the res needed a ride to Walmart to get groceries. So I took them to Walmart, and on the way back, the man's wife said, "Hey, look, there's one right there," because on this reservation, it's like very common to see Bigfoots. They're easily known there, so it wasn't surprising to them. But at the very back, you can see it's walking. From the naked eye, you could see it was look closer, and it was huge walking through there. And it gets behind those bushes, and then hides and starts watching us from the street. And it wouldn't make sense for the Bigfoots. Well, if you're not a Bigfoot, if you're a quarter mile away walking by an irrigation ditch, why would you hide from somebody pulled over on the highway and watch them wearing all black in the middle of the summer from head to toe? And I lived there for a good while, and there's no 7-8 foot tall natives living there.
Well, I want to ask you this. I mean, for most people, we don't know what it's like to be in the heat of the desert of New Mexico. How hot is it there at that point?
Let's say 105 degrees.
That's hot.
Roughly. Yeah. And you're familiar with Thinker Thunker?
No, fill me in.
Okay, Thinker Thunker, he does breakdowns on Bigfoot videos and footage. And he did one on mine, and he agrees that he believes it's a forest giant. He doesn't think it's a person. He stabilized it and looked at the angle it's walking, and he's really, if you guys get a chance, check out Thinker Thunker on YouTube, and it's just, I'd say, priceless stuff that he does. He's a really cool dude, and he does his job well.
Now, for you, when you caught this and you looked at it, what was your reaction to it? Because I know if I was viewing this, I would be absolutely freaked out in joy, but still my heart would be pumping, almost coming out of my chest.
Yeah, no, I was excited because it was like, it's about damn time, because I'd seen them before, and at this point I had seen one about 5 foot in front of me one night, like literally face to face. So I'd seen them before, and I wasn't in shock that I'm seeing one. It was more like, finally got one on film, and I wasn't going to let this chance pass by. So I let the couple just take my car to take the groceries home, and I took off on foot, as you'll see in, when you watch the whole video. yeah, I took off on foot going after it.
Okay, so let's just talk about this for a second. Let's be logical. All right. I mean, here you are in the middle of the desert. Are you armed?
Nope.
Okay, and here you are. You're going to chase down an 8-foot creature. You don't know where it's going. You don't know where it's hiding. You don't know if it's having a bad day, like a house cat on a normal day.
Yep.
And you go chasing after it. Take me through that.
Well, the thing is, I never take weapons with me. Um, the best weapon against a Bigfoot, in my experience, is a camera. They don't like cameras. They will charge you if you got a gun. They'll do all kinds of stuff when you got all kinds of weapons. But when you got a camera, what do? Boom, they take off. They don't want to be on film, right? Two, unless you got a hand cannon on you, I mean like a serious high caliber weapon, you ain't doing nothing to 1,000 pound, 2,000 pound animal. You're gonna just piss it off. They seem to be able to sense when you have some type of weapon on you. I see them as a people. Now, just like humans, there's bad humans and good humans, but um, I think that that's why I get so much evidence and interactions with these beings is that I go towards them as a person. I don't go thinking as they're just a big old monkey or local fauna. I talk to them, whistle, we whistle back. Yeah, so I think that's the thing is I went out there looking to talk to them, and you like I said, if you watch the video, you hear me talking to them, like I know you're there, I can hear you, and trying to interact with them, and that's why I think the anthropologists are really interested in what I'm doing because um, social interaction is really a serious thing that differentiates them from just animals. From all the DNA, because I was part of the Genome Project with Melba Kitchum and J.C. Johnson and the University of Gallup, and yeah, the findings came back. The mitochondrial DNA was female, human female. Of course, in the male, was unknown. But they're human. They're a type of human. They're a human hybrid. So I treat them as such. They're not stupid. They have speech, as you know.
Oh, yes, as I know all too well with that. But for you, when you started chasing this creature, before you decided to start, running after it, and I'm sure you would have tackled it, gave it a big hug. You're that type of guy.
Yeah, the brother.
How far away from it were you when you started your chase?
Um, like I said, I'd say about a quarter mile was the highway from the where it was walking. So it took me a good 20 minutes to get to that spot. 15 minutes because it's not just a perfect straight road. I was following, some dirt trail, and then I went down a ravine because they use a lot of times these little like canal waterways in the desert. They go under roads, and that's why they can travel in the daytime without being seen. Um, yeah, so yeah, I was just hoping that I caught up to them, and there wasn't just one. I think there was a few there. The one that went over here that you're seeing right now behind that bush, the little black dot right above the bush is its cone head. But to your far left, you can't see right now, but later in the video, there's that area. There seemed to be two more. I don't know if they were like juveniles. That was the mom, or the dad, or Uncle John, Uncle Junebug. I don't know, but there was more than one there, and they usually don't travel by themselves. They usually have more than one of them in the area because they utilize distraction. So they'll have if they don't want you getting near these guys, this guy over here on your right will whistle or make a noise, and you'll pay attention over there while these other guys get out the way or are able to hide better.
Very true. Very true. So the fact that you had a family in there and you saw the other two members, how close were you able to get to them as you started running? Because I'm sure they're watching you come closer and closer and closer. And if I know this creature, they're not liking that.
No, well, you said they can sense your. It seems like they can sense your intentions. I can't say it for sure, of course. Nothing is absolute, and I can't say I know. But these are my. I would like to say informed opinions. Okay, my theories or hypotheses. They know your intention, the way you're acting, so that plays a big role in how they respond and act. So with me, I think they must think I'm a weirdo, just a funny guy. And yeah, so there was one which I couldn't see it with my own eyes, but I heard it there. It's by these bushes. If you watch that video, later in the video. And unfortunately, during editing, when it compressed the file, one of my little arrows that point at it is slightly off. So it points at the wrong spot. But yeah, it's around the, I don't know, I'd say like close to 40-minute mark, 37-minute mark, somewhere around there. I'm talking to a bush, and yeah, you can see the bush move. Then on my left, up towards the left corner of the screen, you'll see a red arrow for a second, but you want to look at the dark.
I have to wait to line that up because you have a YouTube commercial in there. I'm teasing.
But yeah, so I would say I was about 15 feet away from it. And I didn't even realize that's where it was. I was looking in the wrong area in the bush. It was to my left, not in front of me. But there was one in the bushes too. So that's what I'm saying. This one's here making noise while this one over here is looking, sticking, its head up a little bit. And I, do frame by frame, and you can see a face. But yeah, so there was about, I'd say, 3. The first one I saw was already long gone. When took off when I started going after that direction. See, the thing is, a lot of people argue that because if you watch that footage, you look in the background, there's some houses, and then if you look on the back cliff, there's a utility road. And you'll see a truck, and people are like, "Man, there's vehicles and houses. Ain't no Bigfoot's going to be nearby all that. That's dumb." And it's like, well, one, if they knew that those houses, the majority of those houses have been abandoned because of the Bigfoots causing problems. And that utility road, if you look from above on Google Earth, it's not right next to it. You've got highway, like I said, a quarter mile of property, a big irrigation ditch, forest, houses, then the San Juan River, and then after the San Juan River, you got more trees, and then you hit the cliffs, and that road goes to a dam. So when you watch video, if you listen carefully, you'll hear a gentleman walking by his house, and he tells me that his neighbor's horse was killed just the night before, and they found it dead with the rear hind leg ripped off. Yeah.
That almost sounds alien.
Yeah, I've studied the cow mutilations and all that, and those mutilations are usually way neater, with laser precision cuts, tongues missing, inside the organs missing from little holes, the blood dried up, genitalia missing. But this was literally the rear hind leg of a horse torn off, ripped, just yeah.
That's huge. That is absolutely huge. And I think a lot of people don't understand. I mean, this creature, whether it's a live creature or whether it's interdimensional or a shapeshifter, like a lot of First Nations believe, this creature, no matter what, is the master of camouflage. Like you said, it was standing right in front of you,
Yep.
And you couldn't see it.
Yep. If since you have the ability to do like what you just did, it would be really cool if you went to my video where it shows looks like cavemen with aliens on the thumbnail. Okay.
Give me 1 second here.
No
Is
problem.
that on a different video or on this video?
Different video. Just if you go down my list, you'll see
Okay.
a picture of some aliens with some Bigfoots or some caveman, however you want to look at it.
All right. Well, let's line that up for the next half hour. We can discuss that one. But for
Cool.
this one here, like I'm used to living in the Pacific Northwest, man. There is trees everywhere. I'm looking at this footage of kind of barren, dry, army camo, brown gray land with brown gray trees, and yet you got this big black hairy creature that's walking through there, man. And I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, how the heck is this thing hiding? The trees are sparse. Is there tunnel systems right through this area for
Yeah.
escaping?
Oh yeah. There's cave systems. The thing you got to remember is they know how to. All they got to do is squat down or use, like I said, the irrigation ditches or the waterways. You won't see them. If you go into that area to the brush, because right there what you're looking at is a little um, more sparse, just for the reason of because there's housing and stuff, in that area.
Right.
So if you go to the far right, if you're to walk all the way down there where it's more natural, it's more like scrub brush. So you literally have to tunnel through on all fours, and there's tunnels in there, and they have whole like setups inside. It looks like a fort, like some kids, or well, really big kids, made a fort inside there. You can't see anything when you're looking into it. And when you get these beings, they know how to use the trees and bushes really well. So now, if you're just standing out in the open, 8 foot tall, black, yeah, you can be seen. But you stand behind 4 trees that are crisscrossing, that breaks up your whole body, and the human eye doesn't recognize it as a person or a being, and he just looks like dark area in a tree, dark area in the shadows, and that's their what they do, and they know how to do it really well, you
No
know.
kidding. No
So yeah,
kidding.
here's a little more enhanced version of it. Zoomed in more, slowed it down, and at the very end, I do a size comparison. I had that couple take a picture of me standing in the same area, and it's definitely bigger than me. And I see. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of footage and pictures over those years, but I had one picture that I was able to recover off of the Google, how Google saves your images,
Yes.
um, of a somewhat good zoom in on the head that showed, the eye section and the cone head, or if you want to call it the sagittal crest. But now that we have better software for enhancing, I was able to enhance it way more than back then. So at the very end, you actually can see a face peeking over the bushes and the conical head, you know. But
That's
of course,
incredible.
it's wild stuff, man. If I had the cameras that we have today, it wouldn't have been no question. I could have zoomed in easily, way more. Back then I had was it a Galaxy Samsung S10, I think, and that back then that was like a nice camera, and I'm zoomed in all the way. Now that was only what 13 megapixels. Now we have the Samsung Ultra S21 with 108 megapixels, 100 zoom, 100x zoom. That's like the P90, P1000, Nikon, but on the
Right.
phone.
Right. That's just, my friend. I mean, the fact that you had the mental
There I am.
capacity to actually grab your phone and grab that video. So many people literally when they have a sighting of the creature they panic. They don't think about bringing out their camera. I'm one of them. I'm not going to deny that. I'm so enthralled with what I'm seeing in the encounter that I had that grabbing my old, I mean, if you want to go old camera, this happened during the iPhone 3 stage. Never mind the iPhone 5, but I never even thought about it, dude. Never even thought about it. Where did you find the aptitude at that moment to get your camera out?
Well, being before I was a actor, stuntman, um, I was a bodyguard and worked in prisons. And yeah, I worked as a bouncer in some of the scariest here. There was the arrow. Now it's a commercial, but that
Yes.
arrow was pointing towards where it was in front of me when I got back there. But yeah, just right after that, you'll see the arrow be slightly up right there. That's where it was, sitting right there, and I should be some close-ups in a second. But yeah,
I'm just gonna pause there.
I've been shot before. I've been in the worst cities, as in gang-related, areas, and I had to be the scary one in those places. And yeah, so when it comes to this stuff, I don't get scared. I'm able to keep my cool. I also used to teach crisis de-escalation to law enforcement academies and sheriffs and police officers on, not freaking out when stuff gets very hectic and stressful. So I think all that stuff helped, and why whenever this happens, I'm just like, oh, cool, filming, 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 you know, yeah.
No, I think that's commendable though that you have that training, because for so many of us, we're just kind of like, oh, look at that. And afterwards, hindsight always being 2020, we kick ourselves in the butt. Like, I'll give you a prime example. Last year, my buddy Mike and I, we were going to get firewood. So here we are having a conversation. It's about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's one of those foggy, crisp Canadian mornings in the fall. And we come around this bend, and all of a sudden I look right in front of me because I'm driving. I hammer on the brakes. There is this giant lynx cat on the middle of the gravel road. And I'm sitting there thinking, get a picture. Get a picture. It's right there. Grab a picture. Oh no, by the time I get my camera, it's going to move. Grab a gosh darn picture, Dave. So now I'm fumbling with my camera like I have literally no thumbs, and I'm trying to do it with my feet. All right. And the cat literally, I can honestly pick up on the cat's energy, man. And that lynx is saying, really, I'm giving you the money shot right now, and you're not even going to take a picture. Like, are you stupid? I'm done. I'm out. Like, I'm exiting stage left. And it walked across the road, walked down this little gully that you could still see in this little ditch, and then started to walk up. And I open up my window and I yell, "Hey, puss! Seriously, I just want to grab a picture. Can you stop right there?" And here I am, trying to take a picture of this stupid thing. And I finally got really two hazy pictures. And anybody's got an iPhone, your camera automatically sucks, so it's all grainy and everything. But I'm like, look, there's the lynx ass right there, but that's the way people panic.
Yeah. Then I've filmed so many UFOs too over the years that it's become like second nature. Something weird's happening, camera, film, pictures. Because nobody believes you unless you got some kind of evidence. And just me telling stories is only so much people will believe before they're like, yeah, whatever, bullshit me in. You know.
Oh
And
yeah.
right in the business that I'm in now, being involved at this level, I gotta put up or shut up. But yeah, right there where that arrow's pointing, um, in the very dark lower area, not that top shaded areas. Like I said, they use shadows. They see it where it's dark, shadowy, they'll hide in it. So it's crouched down right there in that dark area. So you'll see. I'm pretty sure it's been a minute since I made this video, but that I did some close-ups and frame by frames, so you can see that there's actual
Right.
you can kind of see a face there. But
Right.
just at that point, it's hard to see, of course. But there's movement.
My friend, we have about 15 seconds here before we have to go to break here at the top of the hour. When we come back, you're going to play us a video of potential alien that you caught?
Yeah, it's the video that's going to show the pictures of the Bigfoots looking in my tent and the alien looking in too. So
Nice. I'm very pumped up about that. Very pumped up. Our good friend Gonzo from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, Jesus Payan Jr. He's a man, he's a myth, and he's a Bigfoot chasing legend in the state of New Mexico. More cryptid and alien talk when we come back on Spaced Out Radio, so stay tuned. All right, bud, I'm just going to run my dogs outside. I'll be right back.
okay.
And I'll just mic you down here for a little bit, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna get something to drink.
All right.
All right. Oh.
Be right back, people. Be right back.
Oh crap, my phone's about to die. Plug it in. Okay. What's up on here? Don't feel good. You hot?
All right, bud. We're back.
Okay.
We got a couple of seconds here. Let me just put you up there so that way people can see it. Hello, Eric with a K. Welcome back to your fourth favorite show, buddy. We're number 4. Number 4. Happy about that. All right. Let me go back to your channel. Where's that video? Sasquatch, what if? Bigfoot, UFOs.
Yeah, you'll see actually like they're around a fire. There's Bigfoots and cavemen or and aliens.
Around a fire? Oh, in the cave. The Apache Bigfoot petroglyph?
No.
No?
Like literally it's like a cartoony looking a couple aliens with some Sasquatch or cavemen together. Definitely there.
Yeah, I'm just looking down here. Oh, right there. Okay.
And anytime I do some kind of enhancements on my videos, I always show the process. And I show the people what programs I use. So there's no accusations of, oh, you did this fake or whatever. You know, they can see the process.
How far into this video?
The video's not that long, so it should go right into it. It's not like that other one. The other one was an hour. This one's only like probably 10, 15 minutes or something.
All right. Bear with me here. I just got to make sure we don't
No worries.
Miss out here on time.
I never copyright any of my stuff. I let anybody that wants to use my videos or share them, they're always welcome to. I never copyright people.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right. Hello, Mr. Boob Tube. How are you? All right. We're coming back here in a couple of seconds. Thank you, Chris, Patrick, Carl, Sinister, Andrew, Lee, and Ed for the super chats. Here we go with hour number 2, everyone.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Here we go with hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/spaced out radio. Just do everybody a favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Darby's. Darby's is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with Jesus Payan Jr. You may know him better as Gonzo from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Well, when he's not in front of the camera, he's behind it trying to film Sasquatch and any other type of anomalies in the beautiful state of New Mexico. And his YouTube channel is called Breaking Bigfoot. That's such a great name. It needs to be on television. We're putting it out there right now. We're going to put that energy out there for you, bud. That's got to be on TV. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
You're very welcome. You are also wanting to tell us about an encounter you had in a tent. You mentioned it a little bit ago. When was this incident?
Also, 2017. It was a busy year. I had run into this youngster. I like to call him a youngster. He was 20 years younger, so okay, that's where it reached under the tent. And he didn't believe in Bigfoot. Said that he'd been up and down those mountains, a bunch of times hunting, looking for antlers and whatnot, because I guess he sold them by the pound or something, or got money for them. And he said he'd never seen anything Bigfoot up there, that I was full of crap. So I told him, hey, let me take you up there for an afternoon, and if I can show you some things that you can't explain, that can't be done by man, give me the benefit of the doubt that Bigfoot might be real. So he agreed. I took him up there, showed him some structures, and what really got him was when I did some tree knocks, and we got responses. And that's when he got excited and was like, ooh, let's camp. And I told him, are you sure you want to do that? These are really big, large, very large individuals that could just pop our heads off like nothing. And he was like, yeah. So he said he had his tent, and he put his pop tent up, and we spent the night. And we didn't go to sleep, of course, because we were waiting for Bigfoot to show up. And sure enough, we heard footsteps, and one of the Sasquatch, of course, at that second, it could have been anything, but it sniffed from the bottom of the tent to the top of the tent, which we don't have big enough bears to get that height. I'm bigger than the largest bear that we have, black bears in our forests, and it sniffed to the top of the tent, and then it reached under the tent where he was sitting. So like the way you're looking at that, that's the the back of the tent. Where I'm sitting is the door, which is on the other side. So he's sitting to the left of that disturbed dirt. So the Bigfoot stuck his arm under the tent and knocked him over. Huge arm. I mean, that was huge. What came under there, and I yelled, "No, bad Bigfoot!" And it pulled right. It pulled its arm out.
No, bad Bigfoot. You yelled.
Yeah, and that's what we call him Kenny. Kenny said, "Did you just scold the Bigfoot?" And I was like, "Well, what the heck do you say? I didn't know what else to say. You just got knocked over, man. And he was being a bad Bigfoot, so called him out." And so then the Bigfoots, I thought there was just one, So he's still sitting in that area right there to the left of that disturbed dirt, and it was really cold. It was like 20, I don't know. It was below freezing, and we had tried taping up the tent vent hood, it's on top, with duct tape. But if anybody knows, duct tape doesn't work well when it's cold, so it didn't stick. So the Bigfoot peeled back part of the vent hood and started looking down in at Kenny, and Kenny was just looking up, freaking out, and going, "Oh my God, I can see its nose. Oh my God, I can see its nose." He just started getting more upset and more upset, to where it looked like he was about to have a panic attack. And I flashed a flashlight at the opening where he's looking at, because at my angle, it was hard to see because there's the vent, netting, right, and dark outside. So at my angle, I really couldn't see what he was seeing. I could just hear what was there, and I just know he was freaking out. I thought it was cool, but I flashed the flashlight there. I was like, "That's enough. Go on. That's enough. You're freaking him out," And they moved, I guess, but they stayed around our tent until like 4 o'clock in the morning, walking around and stuff. And that morning, he told me, he was, "You can have my tent." He was, "I'm never coming to these mountains or camping ever again." And never heard from him again since then.
Nice way to end a friendship, eh?
Yeah, right.
No
Oops.
kidding. No kidding. So here you are, bad Bigfoot. Dude, I honestly cannot, I can't get over that. I mean, out of all the things to say, bad Bigfoot, like you're scolding a dog, man.
Well, it's like, you can only imagine what the average person because like that area where we were at is camped heavily at, it's a real popular place to camp, but there's a ton of people that are freaked out by that area because they said all kinds of weird stuff happens there. It's haunted there. So I'm guessing they've never gotten that reaction before. They usually get people screaming or just freaking out, So to have somebody talk to them and be like, no, that's bad. It caught them off guard, I'm guessing. They're like, huh? This guy's, what the heck? Yeah, so that's like I said, I think I either confused them or intrigued them, one of the two. But they seem to be interested in, what I
Well,
do.
as Christy says in our chat room, maybe Bigfoot just wanted to spoon.
That might be uncomfortable, a little awkward.
Well,
but I wouldn't argue.
I do have to ask, what's it like being in the presence of a Sasquatch that close?
It's like seeing a UFO. It's like being in the presence of a spirit. To me, they all seem to blend in, as in like it's a energy that is unlike any other energy you'll feel. Like that one when I was in northern New Mexico with JC Johnson that night, and it was in front of me, standing there. We were taking steps back and forth, mimicking each other. It was exciting. It was like, I guess, the feeling you get when you meet somebody famous, and you're like, it's him.
Oh, was there an odor or anything like that?
I've only experienced the odor thing in my I have another documentary. It's like one of the first ones you'll see way at the bottom, called Tule Creek Bigfoot. In that area, the Sasquatch that are there, I think they were juveniles, but there was like 4 or 5 of them that were whistling back and forth with me in daytime. It smelled like onions and like BO, real bad BO, like a football, in high school, football player that hasn't washed his jersey and socks or everything in about a week. So it was like real bad BO. But that's the only time I ever got a smell off of them like that. Because, I've read hundreds and hundreds of reports of them smelling like death and wet dogs and all this stuff. But I wonder, because it wasn't until after I started interacting with that group of them, the smell went away. So it might be partially, like I say, some of it might be their glands, the type of gland it's giving off the smell, like gorillas do when they're distressed. So if they're scared or upset or pissed off or something, maybe either their glands are doing it or they're breaking wind.
You never know.
And but yeah, only that one time did I ever experience the funny smell, But yeah, so I don't know. And then of course, there's the ones that they'll take the stinky glands from skunks. They'll take the glands out of them and put it all over themselves. I'm guessing to confuse animals when they go hunting. so they don't smell the actual Sasquatch. Just think, oh, it's just a skunk, or
Exactly. I have a question from Can Squatch here.
okay.
Jesus, when you were in Upper Fruitland, did you end up going into Skinwalker Canyon?
I've been everywhere there. I've been from the Chuska Mountains all the way through that whole reservation. Yeah.
What's that like? That sounds creepy.
Well, you gotta understand. A lot of people don't really understand what a skinwalker is. They confuse them with the Wendigos and just monsters. And it's like, uh, it's a shapeshifter. It's a medicine man or woman that has gone to the dark side, and they are messing with demons and evil. So they'll whatever animal skin they have, may it be a fox, a coyote, a wolf, a rabbit, whatever, they can turn into that animal, and it's when they're not in the animal mode, they're naked running around with the skin on them, shaking stuff. So there's a lot of confusion on what the skinwalker is exactly. A lot of times people confuse Bigfoots with skinwalkers, just because a skinwalker normally is been paid in some way to harass somebody, kind of like putting a curse on somebody, but they'll go and they'll mess with people. Bigfoots, they get bored and they'll kind of do the same thing. They'll go to people's windows and look inside their windows and tap on their windows and their doors, and people are like, "Oh no, there's a skinwalker out there," And yeah, there's a lot of misidentification with these animals. A lot of them think that they're werewolves. People that don't believe in Bigfoot, but they believe in werewolves. They're like, "There was a werewolf. It was running on all fours and it was howling. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa." So yeah.
Well, since we're speaking of skinwalkers, Vinny has a question here. If you encounter a skinwalker, can this cause you to get haunted later, in your opinion?
I wouldn't call it haunted. Now, if that individual can follow you, yeah. If you don't go too far, because they got to go back home themselves. They have a house. They're people. Do you know what I mean? So, that'd be a whole different thing. Now, if somebody was to put a curse on you or, ask a demon to follow you, that's a whole different thing. That goes outside the realm of Skinwalker, because a Skinwalker has a specific job that they do to mess with you. Now, if you leave that area, they got other people to mess with and harass. So, but yeah, if you can get attached by spirits, while you're there, if that's what they want to do and attach a spirit to you, you could say, yeah, you get haunted. But
all right, let's go to Sovereign here. He is asking, have you seen any strange, out of the place people out there that might have been a shapeshifter or interdimensional?
yeah, I ran into skinwalkers, and that's
Really?
that's what a shapeshifter is. Yeah, I've run into one. But like I said, I wasn't help me. I would confront them.
What's that like how did you know you ran into a skinwalker?
Well, one of them, I took a picture of him out there in the desert by where I was living, and he had no face. It was the face of a skull, And
Oh, where did this happen? You got to go deep into this story, man.
well, this would be in the canyon, behind near a casino that's out there by the mesa, and we were deep in the area where nobody's allowed to go. And yeah, so they're out there. They're out there. You know what I mean? But it's just not, really talked about because, the, being native, we already have enough stigmas against us. We don't want to go around, telling everybody, oh yeah, there's some of us that can shapeshift and do it. It doesn't have the situation, and it's a very, very small group of natives, to any tribes. They're not common, as in there's not high population out of the population that are involved with that. It's just like having a high priest Satanist in just a regular America or Canada or something in a normal, city. There's not going to be a ton of them, but they're out there. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. Let's go to another question here that we have for you from our audience. This one comes from Will. What is your view on if Sasquatch is interdimensional? I'll throw shapeshifter in on there as well.
Okay. Well, question is it interdimensional, or does it have the ability to evade our human perception of what we can see? Just like there's UFOs that we can't see with our naked eye, but you put on a infrared camera and it's right there in front of you. So is that the same capability, or is that UFO in a different dimension? Our dimensions, some people believe they're right alongside us, right in front of us. We just can't see it unless you're able to get into the right vibration or better camera. So it just depends on what it is. I can't say for sure, but I leave nothing. I don't rule out anything. I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because you never know. I've got to keep all options open, when researching this phenomenon, because there's too many reports of them doing the predator thing, them, following tracks, and then they just stop in the middle of nowhere.
See, and that's my big beef with groups like the BFRO. I have talked to members of BFRO who literally have had their reports edited or not published because of the woo factor that goes along. Yeah. And I know that I've messaged with one person who was really upset when he filed his report with BFRO. He had a paranormal experience along with it, and that they ended up editing the information that he left for the report. And we have to realize 99% of the people doing this are not conducting any scientific research.
Right.
They're not. They're just out in the field hoping to catch something on camera. That's it. And go ahead.
With the way I look at it, man, is one, we're talking about Bigfoot, which is deemed as a mythical creature in itself. Okay. We've got people that think it's just Gigantopithecus, a giant great ape, right? Then you got these people. Okay, so you got the first people that don't believe Bigfoot exists. Then you got the people that think it's Gigantopithecus. Then you got the people that don't think it's Gigantopithecus, but they think it's a human hybrid. But those people think the people that think Bigfoot can talk is crazy. And the people that think Bigfoot can talk think the people that think it can do predator stuff and do dimensional stuff, the woo, are crazy. So it just goes on and on and on. And we just waste our time talking crap about each other, calling each other crazy, instead of putting together all the evidence through all cultures, all history, ancient history. If we put it all together through time, through the wild man encounters, it starts you start seeing a full picture, and until, if you're an investigator and you're going to go like this, when you have 10 witnesses and you only want to hear 2 of them because you agree with them the most, and the rest you're like, la, 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 that's too crazy. You're never going to figure out who done it,
Very true.
Can't move forward.
Very true. Let's get to another question here. This one comes from our Facebook group, and Sparky is asking, what do you mean by structures? Do Bigfoot place or build places to live?
Okay. So from my research, Bigfoots, they use trees and branches for many different things. Territorial, which I think those are the when they get saplings at about an 8-foot to 7-foot area, they'll snap them off. They'll get fallen trees, or they'll pull trees out of the ground, and they'll lean them against other trees for directional purposes, to give directions to each other, because they don't have cell phones, walkie-talkies to talk to each other. So they leave stuff for each other to see. Oh, kind of had a malfunction there. Then you have the teepee structures. I've seen death spires made. Then there's what I call the nurseries. They'll make a section of of trees covering a little area, making a little pocket so they can put their babies in while they do Bigfoot stuff. You got areas where they will crisscross logs every which way on the ground, which I believe is they use for hunting. They're able to run across it easy, but game isn't. A deer, an elk can't get through it, and they can, kind of like corral it there and hunt. It also makes it very, very hard for humans to walk through. So they'll make an area they don't want us going around. Humans always seek the easiest route, and we don't want to have to climb over logs and under and over and under and over. So those are areas that they'll do. They'll put trees upside down. They'll pull them out of the ground and stab them upside down with the root ball in the air. That one, possibly a territory alpha male type thing, because they don't usually do it with little trees. They like doing X's, arches. They'll arch trees, which a lot of times they'll make it look like an entrance to an area. But yeah, there's all kinds of different things they do with the trees. There's so many different possibilities they're doing them for.
I haven't seen any. And the amount of time we spend in the forest where we've had encounters, haven't seen any. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me absolutely nuts. We have 1 minute to go before we have to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Jesus Payan Jr. is our guest tonight. Breaking Bigfoot is the topic. With these structures, what do you look for? Like, are you going deep into the forest to see these, or are you just crawling in?
You can drive down any forested highway. Okay, like if you have forest where you're at, just drive and look to your left and right, and you'll see an area where you'll see a lot of trees leaning over on other trees. Those are usually what I call the doorways. That'll lead you right there to big areas. They're right nearby. You don't have to go deep into a forest to find them. You just need to see what to look for. So when you get a chance, watch my video on tree structures, and you'll get some great examples. But that's what I've been teaching, like the anthropologists, when they want to find areas to study structures, just drive down the street in the mountain and you'll see them. They stick out like sore thumbs. Once you know what to look for, it's like, oh crap, they're right there,
I hear you, my friend. I'm going to get you to hold on right there. We're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour here on Spaced Out Radio. Breaking Bigfoot, aliens, Sasquatch, tree structures, Skinwalkers, Dogman, and what it's like to go chasing these creatures all over North America. We have more Spaced Out Radio with Jesus Payan Jr. coming up right after this. All right, we're clear. That was a fast half hour, man.
Right.
Yeah, this show is moving. Moving. Love it.
Did you find the pictures?
Yeah, I think I'm there.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for my give me 2 seconds here. All right. There we go. My video card is really finicky, and every time at this time my computer, like I have two screens, and it goes black on my one screen and everything moves to my other screen, and then it flashes back, and then I got to move everything back, and then it does it a second time, and now it's good for the night. Drives me nuts. Always at this time of night. Always. Drives me friggin' batshit crazy sometimes, but that's okay. Move that over there. That goes there. I go here. I got a bunch of questions from the audience too. I'll try and get to your questions. I want to get to this video when we come. Oh my God. I just saw where I paused it. Holy cow. Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen some stuff.
Dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. In the comments, people are like, how is this not everywhere on the internet? I was like,
It's on your YouTube channel. Go subscribe.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know the chat room is moving really fast. I know there's going to be some questions that I've accidentally missed, so you may have to repost them. Hey there, gorgeous Tiffany Weiss. Long time, no time, but glad you made time for tonight. Good night, stunning Jordan Ashley Pettit. You have a great night. Thank you for coming on in. All right, the YouTube channel is called Breaking Bigfoot. I'm going to put the link in the chat room again. Hello, Jareth Barrett from Revolution Radio. Jareth is a connoisseur of cheese, just so you know. Yeah, he likes a good cheese. He's on a Gouda kick lately. A Gouda kick.
That sounds very Gouda.
Gorgeous Larry, thanks for coming on in. I like Sinister Vax. I'm usually a little skeptical of Bigfoot, to be honest, but this is a friggin' awesome show. Makes me want to believe. Believe it.
One thing I always tell people is you don't have to believe in Bigfoot to make it real. Because you could go on the freeway and not believe in a Mack truck, but that Mack truck's still going to hit you. You know?
A bunch of our listeners have already subscribed to your channel already.
Oh, cool. Thank you, guys.
No problem, man. No problem. Actually, I'm going to go. Gary Spikes, are you still here? Hi, Boots here. Gary Spikes. Attention, Gary Spikes.
And people got to remember, we have DNA. It's not just reports. We have DNA, multiple DNA studies on it. And, fur, feces, all that stuff from this creature. And footprints and handprints with dermal ridges, actual fingerprints that they don't match humans. But, they're real.
I want to find that. I want to find that.
I wear size 16 shoes, and that's a big foot for a normal person, but I found prints that, are this much bigger than my foot, and it makes my foot look little. And unless you're Shaquille O'Neal, you ain't got a bigger foot than me, barefoot alone. Sheesh.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm gonna hook up your channel with ours and put it as a favorite, so that way.
I'll be getting my laptop next week, so I'll do the same for sure.
Thanks, buddy. All right, 15 seconds. I want to say thank you to Pepper, to Chris, to Patrick, Carl ×2, Sinister Vax, Andrew, Major Lee, and Ed Clater for the super chats. It's a great way to support what we do on this show. If you're brand new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. We're here 7 days a week. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate earning your listening ears. Want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with Jesus Payan Jr. You may know him from his days as Gonzo on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. We absolutely love this guy, and we are talking Breaking Bigfoot. You go to YouTube, you type in Breaking Bigfoot, and it's going to pull up his channel. He's got some fantastic fantastic interviews and evidence that he's showing off on his channel with his knowledge. Jesus, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. And all the people that are subbing, I just want to say thank you and know that I answer every single comment. I mean, every single one. So feel free to put your opinions, your questions. I don't mind at all. And if you go to my playlist on my channel, I have playlists that has all the like Bigfoot case files, Sasquatch Central, NBTV, all the videos they've done on my stuff and interviews. So I have all those things over there on that part of the channel.
All right, my friend. Perfect. Thank you. And thank you to our audience in our chat rooms who've gone already over to your YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. I love it when that happens, man. I love it. It's really, really cool. And that just goes to show how awesome our audience is, not only in the chat rooms, but the ones who are just listening in as well. So I appreciate that. You wanted to go over some other footage that you got here. And it looks like you're just holding a camera up. It looks like it's on a roof of something. I'm going to bring this up for our YouTube crowd and people listening on the radio. If you can't see it, do us a favor and check it out on our YouTube channel at Spaced Out Radio on YouTube. And I'm going to play this here and just describe this. Is this inside the tent where?
Yeah. So
okay.
Where you're seeing the flashlight, right below it is Kenny. Okay, I'm on the other side of the tent. That is the tent vent hood on the very top. So these images you're seeing first here are the before I enhanced it and there you go. See that red eye and the green skin there. Yeah, this is what was looking down in the tent.
Ooh,
and
I just saw it. That's an alien.
Yeah, pretty much. I double it up in a second. You'll see I kind of mirror the image so you can see what it actually looks like, the whole face. I do the same thing with the Sasquatches that are looking in. It was really I almost hesitated showing this guy. It's one thing showing Bigfoot looking in your tent, but then showing a freaking alien too. It's like people will think I'm crazy enough as it is, but I think that if I'm going to be an honest researcher, I need to put out everything that I witness, everything that I'm seeing, regardless of how weird it is, because I wouldn't be doing you guys justice, And that night I didn't notice that because, like I said, not until I brightened it and enhanced it a little bit, by adding contrast and whatnot. At my angle that I was at, I couldn't see through. You can see the little lines. That's because of the netting
mesh.
The mesh of the vent. So at my angle, it was at a very crappy angle, but luckily the camera was able to pick up these things. And when I used the editor photo enhancing tools, I brought it out, sharpening it. Like I said, adding contrast, doing HDR scape to it, or if I have to increase saturation, which brightens whatever colors are there. All those things really made it possible to see. A lot better than just the original images.
Okay, I got to ask you, were the aliens there with the Bigfoot?
Apparently, they were at the same exact. Yeah, that was all within 3 minutes. The pictures that were taken was within 3 minutes time. So
let's scroll on here. Okay, there's oh my gosh, that face looks even creepier.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's an alien gray.
Yeah. With
green skin.
And either it's floating or it's really tall as well. Because, like I said, that was at the top of the tent, and I could stand up in it. And I'm 6'3". And they're looking down.
Like I'm trying to see this with a skeptical mind here. And I'm looking for pareidolia. And I am not seeing any pareidolia here. Wow. So for our radio audience, basically he's in a tent and he's shooting up to the skylight where the mesh is to let the fresh air in. And there's always mesh up there so the bugs don't fly in. And there's a face of an alien staring down. And the tent is about 6'5", you would say, because you're 6'3".
And the the beings, whatever you want to call them, aliens and Bigfoots, they've pulled the top of the vent hood over. So they literally took the time to peel it over so they could look in. There's two of them right there, Bigfoots.
There's a Sasquatch right there.
Yep, one on the left, one on the right.
Now, a lot of people will say, is that not flashing from the flash of the camera that's causing some sort of pareidolia?
That's a flashlight. So it wasn't a flash, it was a constant light. And that's why they're making those funny faces. I have other images that aren't in there, and it shows them closing their eyes because it's so bright. And the one on the left, see, I straightened it out. I mirrored his face. I put it together so you can see what the whole face would look like. It's definitely not pareidolia. You can see teeth too.
My God, you can.
But like I said, it's about 1:30 in the morning. And these are different.
Oh my gosh! I just jumped.
Still shots. Yeah, I was looking in the tent, making faces at that guy.
Hold on, I gotta go back here a little bit. You got to be kidding me right now.
Nope.
Now, is that his face, or is that what you did to bring the face together?
No, that's okay. This is the Bigfoot that was on the right side of the picture you saw. There was two of them. Remember? This is the one on the right. The one on the right was silently. It wasn't making noises either. It wasn't going rah. It was silently making faces at that youngster Kenny, I think to freak him out. The other Bigfoot looks like it's grinning, like it wants to laugh. So it's sitting there making faces at him.
This is just insane. And I'm going to recommend once again all of our radio audience listeners to go on our YouTube channel and check out this video and this footage. This is just incredible. These photographs that you have of Sasquatch. You think they pushed the aliens away? Because, I mean, you got the aliens first, and then the Sasquatch were like, hey, get out of here, you thin little star hoppers. Like,
right, they were taking turns, it seemed. There's been reports out there of Bigfoots being on UFOs and Bigfoots and aliens working together. So this is the perfect area, I guess, for that, because we've got so much UFO stuff here and Bigfoot stuff. So this is where I mirror it. I just reversed, flipped the image, and then I put them together so you can kind of get a good idea what the whole face would look like. I try to show the whole process.
And down below here that you've got mirrored, is that an alien looking behind it?
I didn't even notice if that's what you see.
I see like two big black eyes or a nose. One of the two.
Well, it's possible, but I didn't even notice that. But yeah, if you go a little bit farther, it'll show the full face. There you go.
Oh. Very rarely am I really caught off guard and don't know really what to say.
Yeah, because the one on the right you could see the whole face, but it was the one on the left you can only see half of it. But like I said, it looks like it's grinning, like they're having fun. They didn't have any malintent. They just were like messing with that youngster because he didn't believe that they were real. I said that out loud too. I was like, he doesn't think you're real, guys. Come on down. We'll be here. You're welcome to come visit us. Come say what's up. And that guy was looking at me like I was crazy for saying that, because I yelled it into the forest.
I think you're crazy for saying it.
And then I filled in the middle with its own skin. I just, overlapped more of its skin right there. And you can really see that. See, I do the same thing with this guy too next to show that there's no way of confusing.
This is the alien gray here, the first one that we saw.
It's just that this one's green and has red eyes instead of gray with black eyes.
Oh.
Right?
This is just trippy. So for people on radio, what he's done is he's taken the half of the face and then flipped it to make a full face. And it is a alien green guy that looks like a gray, where the black eyes would be. It's actually red eyes. You can see the nostrils. You can see the mouth. This is just...
And it's definitely not pareidolia.
Dude.
Right?
Are you sure you didn't get taken that night?
It's very possible. It's happened before. But usually from the house. But I lightened it up there so you could get a little bit better view.
Holy cow.
There's one looking at me from behind. That's sometimes I'll put it on selfie mode because I'll see that they're there or hear where they're at, and I'll take pictures from behind me so I can get pictures of them. But yeah.
That just scares the daylights out of me right now. That just scared. I got to look at this alien again. I have to. This is just absolutely freaking me out right now.
Right.
And when did this happen?
2017. The Cloudcroft Mountains in southern New Mexico.
Did you know that you were going to have an experience there? Like when you go into the forest, whether you're looking for Sasquatch or with extraterrestrials, because I'm going to make the assumption that you already know you are very, very connected.
Yeah, I usually have some sort of interaction every time. I'd say 95% of the time I go out, I get some sort of interaction with something. If I go out looking for UFOs, I'll see a UFO. If I go out looking for Bigfoots, I'll either get them whistling back and forth to me or tree knocking back and forth, or they'll be nearby. I can hear them, messing with stuff. But on this day, yeah, like I said, I took this kid out there to prove that they were real. Give him, see if he would, what he thought of the evidence. And they started interacting with us earlier with the tree knocking, so I knew they were there, and I know they understand, English, because there are people and the locals there, and the reservation there, they have a long history with the Sasquatch, and yeah, so I invited them to come down, and
yeah, well, apparently they came down along with something else that came down. Sherry is asking, Jesus, how large is that mesh area on top of the tent?
I would say it was like a 6-man tent. One, I would say each like triangle section was about 2 feet long and about maybe a foot wide or tall, whatever you're gonna call it. But remember, it's flat. I'm looking up at it, so each triangle section, there's 4 sections. Each it's about like 2 foot by 1 foot each triangle. The very little top part, yeah, because it's a smaller piece of orange material that goes over that they have to peel back to look in that one.
That just trips me out, man.
Mind you, their face isn't against the mesh. They're above the mesh. We don't know, half a foot, because I couldn't see them. Like I said, right there, that's before I brightened it and had it sharpened. See it right there? You can't see them that well because they're kind of back, and just the light off of the flashlight is reflecting enough to pick up any features at all.
Like on this Sasquatch, you could see the cheekbones.
Yep, and the teeth.
You can see the nose. You can see the chin hair.
You see teeth and the other eye section. And
holy cow!
see, when I was taking the images, at my angle, I couldn't see that. Not until I was able to get home and look on the on the computer did I was like, holy shit, I got him. Oh crap. And I could see what that guy was seeing above his head, freaking out. Now I know why he was freaking out, yeah, it was pretty wild.
No kidding. I mean, What kind of noises were they making on the outside of the tent?
The only noises that I heard them do was the sniffing and them touching the tent and them walking around. They didn't make any vocalizations. They weren't growling. I couldn't even hear them. Besides, like I said, when they'd sniff, I couldn't hear them breathing. They were really quiet. And after I told them to stop looking in the tent, I just talked to them for the next few hours, telling them what was going on and watch out for the drones and that kind of stuff. Just
Jen wants to know, what part of New Mexico is this? Because I ain't camping there anymore.
Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Cloudcroft. Yeah. Bailey Canyon. Don't do it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm blown away by this. Really blown away. And once again, to our radio listeners who are listening in on the radio or digitally, and you don't have a chance to catch the YouTube feed, go onto this show and replay it in the archives that we have for free at youtube.com/spaced out radio. And do yourself a favor, and you want to replay these so that way you can see the pictures and the videos for yourself, and that way you can get a good look at them too. Jesus Payan Jr. is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Jesus, I mean, when you're going through this, most people are going to freak out. Most people are going to, not going to be as calm. But as you said earlier in the show, you're a former bodyguard, you're a former trainer. You're prepared for very hostile type situations, and you know how to keep your blood pressure calm and yourself calm with this. Did you think at all to go outside the tent?
I may be brave, but I ain't stupid. Wasn't even thinking that. I was like, one of the important things about what I do with these individuals is that I want to make sure they never feel threatened, ever. Like I tell other researchers, I go, honestly, if you want to have an experience with these guys, one, I don't recommend having weapons. I know that sounds crazy, but that, and you got to make yourself vulnerable. Simple as that. You got to make it easy for them to sneak up on you, and be okay with not getting that on film if you want an experience with them.
Mondak is asking, are there feral hogs in the area? It's a perfect cover for an excuse to go to Cloudcroft.
There's a whole bunch.
That's a big feeding source.
Oh yeah, I talk about that in one of these videos, because the people are like, no, that big of an animal can't live and sustain a quality meal, ratio versus its body structure and the amount of nutrients and calories it needs every day to eat. It's like, do you know just how bad the feral hog situation is in the United States? They've got piggy wiggies all day long if they want to eat. Among other animals out there too, in this area, but yeah, we got plenty of deer and elk and cows and let alone those hogs. And man, they get big.
I get that, and I can see that, but I mean, I look at this area, you've already explained there's a water source there with a river, there's ditches there, there's farmland there, there's cattle, there's cattle, there's a lot of roots going and growing in the area. If you have feral hogs, rabbits, those type of prey type creatures, there's a big food source there.
Oh yeah, and we got tons of natural sweet onions that grow here too, and mushrooms, and they also like to tear off bark and eat the inside of the bark, the white part.
I get that. We see that up here too. In one of the areas where we put a gifting site at about 11, 12 feet high on the tree, you could see where the bark was ripped off, and it looked like they were grabbing the tree sap in order to eat the tree sap. And the interesting part about it is we checked that tree for porcupine. We checked that tree for bear claw marks, cat claw marks, nothing. Just two giant rips out of the bark. Probably one's about 6 inches and one's about 7 inches, 8 inches, and they're about 4 or 5 inches wide each on that tree. And, you know, what else could do that at 10, 12 feet on a tree? And yet they don't play with my toys at the gifting site. It's right underneath. That's it. It's right there. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. We only have about 2 minutes or less here to go before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. Jesus Payan Jr. is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Breaking Bigfoot is his YouTube channel, which we highly suggest that you hit that subscribe button to. How long did this experience in the tent last?
It began, I would say, at about little after 1 o'clock, and finished at about a little after 4.
So for 3 hours, you couldn't even go outside to take a pee. They had you locked in.
I did open the zipper a little bit, and I put out 2 oatmeal cookies just in case they wanted those, but they didn't take them.
That is just insane. They didn't like oatmeal cookies. But them and the aliens are standing there staring back at you.
Yeah, well, see, I left them in the packages because I wanted to hear them crinkle them, you know? But I think they caught on to that. But, yeah.
What kind of noises were they making on the outside? Were they grunting? Were they farting? Were they, just walking around like people would?
Just walking, like pacing and walking around the tent. You could hear them walking, the big old... that's the thing is that afterwards we went out there, couldn't find no prints. But we did see, the only thing that we could see visible evidence of them was where it reached under the tent. And I'll show you that. You saw that picture. It shows, where it's disturbed. There was no hairs, though, either. They are masters of... They don't want you to see prints. You ain't going to see them. But when, I guess they don't care, then you'll find them. You know what I mean?
Were there any alien footprints?
Nope. No UFO marks, nothing.
Nothing. Wow. Well, we're going to get you to hold on right there. We're through 2 hours here on Spaced Out Radio, and we have another hour to go. We got Jesus Payan Jr. on with us for another 30 minutes. Then we're going to get to the SOR News Wire. We're going to get to the Thought of the Dave. Stay tuned. A jam-packed hour number 3 of Spaced Out Radio is coming up right after this. Do you want to hang out and talk to the people, or do you want to take a break?
Sure.
Okay. If you go up to the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see a little box that says comments.
The chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm using my phone right now.
Oh, are you?
So I clicked on chat.
Or
all right.
Should say comments.
Okay. Now I'm going to go to comments. All right. I can see them now.
Yeah. So if you want to chat, I'm just going to run my dogs outside. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Put you on the... Look how beautiful you are when we zoom on in. Woohoo!
Okay, so I can see your guys' comments. There's Eve and Jean Beckett and Contour and Jennifer Hawkins. And let's see. So this man just hanging out, talking to Jesus. That you are. I'm so late. What did I miss? You missed Sasquatch. That was Bomber. Talk about rough trade. Fap. All right. Tight. Yep, that's Tuco. What's up, Bomber? Thank you, Sinister Vax. Yeah, like I said, thank you guys if you sub to my channel. Enjoy the videos. It's all what I got to share with you guys, Yep, I got a whole bunch of tattoos. Got lots of them. I did all my own tattoos. I was a tattoo artist as well. I appreciate that, Cosmic Fleur. Have you been on Dave Schrader's Dark? Yes, I've been on Darkness Radio. Yes, I have. Let's see, what makes you attract the paranormal? I don't know what makes me attract the paranormal. I'm just like a weird shit magnet, sadly. I can't help it. I couldn't get away from it, so it kind of became what I did, you know? And yeah, it's wild. Let's see here. Yeah, like I said, you guys enjoy the channel. It's good stuff. Like I said, if you get a chance, go to my playlists and you'll see interviews and all the other Bigfoot channels that have done stuff on me. Like I said, like Sasquatch Central, Sasquatch Files, NVTV, and all those other things like that. But if you guys are part of any Bigfoot groups, share my videos in your Bigfoot groups to get the word out there, because like other people commented, they're like, how the heck haven't I seen this stuff? You know? Buenos noches. Have you ever been tested in the lab? In what way have I ever been tested? I've had my DNA checked. I got typo negative blood. Buenos noches. Let's see here. It's very difficult, especially, you know, when you're wearing, you know, specific shoes. Crocs, you can do it really easy. Remote viewer, I would love to learn how to remote view. I've never done it intentionally. Let's see. Homo ferris 100 years ago. True. What do I think about the little people? They're very small. But yeah, I think they're real too. There's even little Bigfoots. Let's see. Thank you. I appreciate that, Bomber. Knuckles. I see. For PSI abilities, I haven't been tested for psychic abilities, but there's been all kinds of weird stuff I have been able to do. Let's see here. Can I scroll down? Ah, okay. Very true. You have been a secret. That will be resolved. Thank you, Moon. All right. Hey, Sovereign Love. I need to research it. I'm typing. Hey, very interesting, Robert. You must experience a lot of weird stuff too, then, Mr. Moore. And you got a Bigfoot friend that's back up in the woods. That'd be cool if the Bigfoot was my homie. We'd talk to him whenever, but they're very, very elusive and shy. You know, hopefully one day I'll be able to sit down and talk to one and ask some questions. AB negative, yeah, that's super rare. That's super rare. The tent, like I said, it was about 6'5" tall. Pop-up tent, 6-man. I'd say a 6-man tent. Oh, cool. Also, 0 negative blood type. I'm telling you, we're a strange group. You know that what's his name? Travis Walton was also type O negative blood from Fire in the Sky. Yeah, Sasquatch has my back. Nice. That's what's up, World Bigfoot Radio. Yes, he does. Have you seen Bigfoot dig into sidewalls of streams to make like a cave? I have not seen that done yet. Kirk Seltzer, Jeremy Jones. What did we meet here? Ever heard of the mall? We used to have a mall here, but it was so small we called it the Hall. Okay. Right, bring on the strangeness. Real talk. Remember, guys, like I said, if you go on my channel, feel free to leave comments, your thoughts, not arguments, but if you have different theories, feel free to leave those as well. I'm not that kind of person that's scared of hearing different ideas. Breaking Bad line. That's not very Christian, Tuco. Let's see. Tight, tight, tight. That's always a favorite one. How do you feel about blood, Eagle? Are we ready to give? What do I feel about blood? I don't know. It's red, very wet. Crips don't like them. All right. Any Sasquatch with UFO encounters? Yeah, there's lots of Sasquatch UFO encounters. There's lots of those out there. That's in one of my videos. I talk about that. Can there be Bigfoot? There are showman or medicine man. I think that in Bigfoot tribes, in the clans, yeah, there is specific Bigfoots that are shamans and medicine men. Let me see. Well, so it's going by real quick. So some of the questions I am missing, I'm going scrolling back up.
I'll get you to hold on, and I'll ask the rest on the show.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. And when we get to break at the bottom of the hour, don't hang up. Just kind of sit right through, and I'll say goodnight to you on the other side of the break.
No worries.
All right, brother. Hold on 2 seconds here.
When you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Darby's. Darby's is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce a good friend of ours, Jesus Payan Jr. He's from the television series Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, better known as Gonzo on those shows. And in his spare time and in his full time, he loves looking for Sasquatch in New Mexico. And that's why we're proud to have him on this show. Jesus, welcome back, man. Really appreciate it. This is a show that has flown on by.
Yes, it has, and thank you for having me, brother. Honored.
Not a problem. I've got a bunch of audience questions here for you because we love it when the audience is here. End of the line is asking, what do you think about the Dogman?
The Dogman, I think a large part of the Dogman sightings is misidentification of Sasquatch, but I do think that there is something out there that's dog-like, that's really big. Just from my research into ancient history and throughout different cultures, dogmen have existed for a long, long time. So even though I haven't seen a dogman per se, I'm not ruling that out just because I haven't seen it myself. It's been too many reports.
It's kind of a weird creature, man. Weird creature. 11 is asking, do you meditate or have some shamanic practice to help you have experiences?
I have meditated and done medicine man's work, you could say, but I've never had to do that to initiate experiences. At most would be just staying quiet and just thinking about them, and sending out mental messages, and if hoping that they can hear them. If not, then I just do it out loud. Literally call them out loud. Speak to them.
Mm-hmm. I see your cat has an opinion on that too.
Yep. Oh, Roberto. Yes, he does.
I think it's absolutely awesome. He's trying to chime on in. It just goes to show the beauty of live radio at that point when the cats are all of a sudden saying, hey, I want to talk about this Sasquatch thing too. Why aren't you taking me out to go Sasquatch hunting? Can you imagine? The silly part about it is Roberto there, he'd probably go attack them. He probably would.
Right. We get eaten by one.
Who knows? House cats, they're tough as nails when it comes to anything big. They really are. For you, as you continue your research in New Mexico, do you have a certain area that you continue to go to in order to build up that trust with the Sasquatch there?
Well, Cloudcroft is one of my more frequented research areas, but I have other areas across these mountains that I would call their hotspots or their habitats, really. But I want to get as much information and research out of this one area as I can for the next, for this next year before I concentrate on any other areas. And this is because I've had so much, in that spot. Like I said, pictures of juveniles, pictures of infant, Sasquatch and full-grown ones, and all the bunches of wood structures and tree structures, and so yeah, I will switch up, but until then, but since now I'm working with the anthropologists, those professors, and they're looking for specific information, I'm trying to stick to those areas just for research reasons for the papers and whatnot.
Okay, so do you think that you have built a trust and faith with this clan or this group, however you want to put it? Because, I mean, obviously they are native to that area. They know the area, they know the land, they know where they could go, where they can't go. Do you think that they're getting used to you, the sound of your vehicle, the sound of your voice, the way you breathe, how you walk from a distance?
Yes, and the odd thing is though, no matter where I've gone, rather if it's been in different states, different parts of the state, um, they seem to like already know me or recognize me. Um, I do specific whistles whenever I go out. Somehow these beings seem to be able to communicate with each other across vast distances somehow. Because I get the same reactions everywhere I go. I get invited by other researchers, to go hunting with them, and some of them haven't had anything happen in months, years, and I show up, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Holy crap! Never had so much stuff happen before," and it's real odd. It's like they know I'm coming. They've been warned almost, and they respond the same way. It seems almost every time I've gone out. So it's really odd. They seem to know me now. And I introduce myself when I go whatever place I go. I yell out there, "Hey guys, it's me, it's Jesus, I'm here," and I do that whistle, specific whistles and stuff, and yeah, so they'll know it's me.
Do you offer anything? Like a lot of people will offer tobacco or sage as burnt offerings.
I do corn, apples, and sometimes onions. They don't seem to like the regular onions, but the sweet ones they do. But yeah, mostly I just do that as a thank you to them. I don't do it regularly. Um, I bring enough for everybody, and so just a few. I'll bring like 50 pounds of bananas and a whole bunch of stuff, you know. And my puppy dog trying to get in the scene too, baby bear.
Oh, you can show them if you want. You can
Okay, let's see here.
Oh, look at that gorgeous dog.
That's baby bear. Yep.
Hey, Dad,
But
give me some attention. Give me some attention.
right, but yeah. So the reason why I don't do it like constantly or on a regular basis is I'm not trying to habituate them. I don't want them to make that an expectation every time I go out. I want them to understand that I'm just saying thank you for letting me be there. Thank you for not beating the crap out of me or eating me. Much appreciated. But here's enough food for you and your babies and your whole, your clan to share, or one really selfish piggy wiggy Sasquatch. Yeah.
Right on. Let's get to a question from Sovereign here. No one has ever witnessed a structure being built from scratch. Do you think these stick structures are being built in a flash, like how a crop circle is made when no one is looking?
I've researched crop circles quite extensively, and I know what you're talking about. That they just they'll appear poof, or the little light will go over them a couple of times, and bam, you got your crop circle. I don't think they're the same thing. These structures, they seem to take time, almost like if you're trying to grow a bonsai tree, it takes time, growing it that way, because there's so many different ways, and pulling them out of the ground, trees with their whole root bills out of the ground. There has been footage, like I said, those people. If you go to Thinker Thunker his YouTube, he has footage of a big Bigfoot ripping out a tree out of the ground, carrying the tree off. So I think it's in real time. They do it when we're not out there. We've been out there and we've heard trees be knocked over. We've heard trees knocking. So who's to say that they're not building one at that moment?
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go over to question from Nicholas here. Have you ever experienced any mind speak with Sasquatch?
Well, it's hard to say, man. Just because, is it your own thoughts? or is it Bigfoot's thoughts? But I would say at most maybe once. One time I was preparing to go out on a Bigfoot hunt with Robert Kreider. It was about 4 hours away though, and there was a Sasquatch that came by my property and was looking over some mesquite bushes. My dog was freaking out, and yeah, I lived at the bottom of the mountains, in the desert, so it was really odd that it came all the way out there. Um, but they had come out there before. I had thrown a rock at one and chased me and my friend to our house, but that's another story. Yeah, I heard the words in my mind. It didn't sound like my inner monologue. It said, "We know you're coming." And right after I heard that, Robert Kreider called me and he had a parabolic dish set up. He was like, "Dude, oh my God, dude, I'm hearing they're freaking out right now. They're howling and they're all making all kinds of calls. I haven't heard anything like this in like over a month. It sounds like they're excited about something." So that would be the one time that I would officially say that I got mind speaked. But I don't, like I said, I don't rule that out that they do that. That's why when I go places, I'll verbally say I'm here, and I'll also think it, or if you want to call it, mind speaking, or if you want to call it mental telepathy. It's up to the individual and how you look at it.
Either way, it's still an interesting insight to what is going on or the possibility of what could be going on. Because, it's the same thing with a lot of people, whether it's talking with spirit, talking with aliens, or channeling aliens, or anything. There's always that skepticism that is it your own imagination making it up, or are you actually hearing the voices? A lot of people can't tell until the next day when they feel the side effects of it, when you almost get this hangover type feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be a popular way of communication with all these other, phenomena. So why not? Because they seem to be all from the same realm at some point.
Have you ever tried to audio record them? Just audio?
Yeah. Well, anytime I go out and film, I'm recording audio. On that one Tule Creek Bigfoot documentary, the very first one at the very, very bottom of the list of my videos, that's the second upload of it, mind you. I have in the description the original upload that's not sound enhanced, but that's where they're whistling back and forth with me. But at one point, me and my nephew didn't hear it out loud because there was water going by, and me and him were in the middle of talking, and I was describing the structure that we had found, and I said, "And here is their structure," and it says bush, like it's correcting me calling it a bush. So on the one that you see, not in the description, I enhanced the sound so it's really loud when you hear the word bush. So it sounds like it's right there next to me, but it wasn't right there next to me. We didn't hear it until we got home and we're going over the video. That was the first time I ever recorded a video as a documentary at all with my nephew. And then more recently, it's under Breaking Branches. It's a more recent video. We hear one of the viewers pointed it out. Again, I didn't hear it myself, but it's on audio, and you hear a deep voice say, "Ikta." You know what I mean? So I've gotten different things on audio, them speaking, them whistling, them knocking, them, so I've got a little bit of everything.
Let's go to B. Hoff's question. Do you think Bigfoot can shapeshift into trees?
I would say more tree stumps. They're really good at looking like tree stumps. Now, shapeshifting into a tree, I don't think so. But there might be a Sasquatch out there that wants to say, "Oh yeah, yes we can." I don't know, but I think that it'd be more likely they would pull the predator thing and stand in front of a tree and just kind of go transparent, I guess you could say. I don't think they turn into trees. Like I said, they'll squat really quickly and get down, and they look just like a stump, a big tree stump.
scientist Dr. Bruce Maccabee, who's very involved the last 50 plus years in ufology and ET contact, his wife had an encounter with one of those predator type of whatever it was. Maybe it was Bigfoot, maybe it was extraterrestrial. We don't know. She was sitting in a deer stand hunting, and this thing started jumping into the trees right beside her, and she ended up getting footage of that as well. Have you seen that from the missing 411 hunters?
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm friends with Bruce, actually. So
nice man. Nice man.
Very, very nice man.
He was just on the show last week.
Nice. He wrote a good script about Tesla that I hope one day we get to make into a film. That'd be really cool. But yeah, no, like I said, the predator thing. If anybody's familiar with Colorado Bigfoot's channel, there's people that hate it, people that love it, because like I said, this group of Bigfooters don't think they can talk. This group of Bigfooters don't think they can do the predator thing. But a lot of his viewers and his work is in them doing that, camouflaging and doing that predator stuff. But yeah, so there's just, like I said, there's so much that we don't know, But if you look into the Native American history of Sasquatch, that's one of his abilities.
Very true. Casual Conversation with G&A is asking, is there different types of Bigfoot? And if so, are some more aggressive than others?
I would say definitely. Most definitely. See, since Bigfoot's a human hybrid, some Bigfoots have bred with humans. Some haven't. So you've got the purebreds, you could say, and then you've got these other ones that are more human-like, have less hair, have human faces versus the more ape-like face. You've got, like Dave mentioned earlier, the ones out in Oklahoma and the skunk ape and all those out there, they seem to be way less friendly, and there's groups of Bigfoots that just hate humans, can't stand us for whatever reason. And then you've got the other ones that seem to be like Harry and the Henderson hippie types that love humans. It's pretty wild. It's like that. I've said it before, but that movie, The Blair Witch Project, I think that story is really about a Sasquatch, a female Sasquatch that's lost her kids and her husband to hunters on that mountain. And that's why she makes all those little wood structures and I think those are her children she's making that she's putting everywhere, the wood people, and throwing rocks at tents and terrorizing anybody that goes up on that mountain. And then that same director later made Exists, that Bigfoot movie later.
By the way, Lorian Fenton, I don't know if you know who she is. She's a very good friend and a mentor of mine in this field. And she's listening in, and she's like, would you like to speak at UFO Con 2022 in San Francisco in February or March?
I would love to.
See what I could do here? I got a little pull here.
That. Well, the I am trying to get on the circuit of speaking, because like I said, I have my own tons of UFO footage as well and Bigfoot stuff. So I got so much to share and talk about.
We'll talk about that off the air at the bottom of the hours. We have about 4 minutes to go here with Jesus Payan Jr. You may know him as Gonzo from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I want to fit in 2 more questions here quickly, if you don't mind. 11 is asking, have you ever had any ghost experiences with Bigfoot?
No. Not that I know of.
Could happen, though.
Oh, yeah. Why not? Why? Bigfoot's going to have ghosts. What if there's a Bigfoot ghost?
Maybe that's what you caught already and you don't even know.
See, you never know.
All right.
Keep it open.
And Sovereign is asking, Jesus, have you ever had rocks or branches thrown at you, and did you take that as a warning sign to leave?
Rocks, yes. Little tiny pebbles. Sign to leave, no. I've had one of them throw a big rock. Well, not big rock, but like about that big, throw it really hard at a tree above me, broke the branch, and the big branch fell on my truck. I think it was more of a see you later, keep on trucking. But that night before, they threw a rock at Robert Kreider's crotch, and that's on video. He got hit in the crotch with a rock.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah, they weren't too fond of him. But my experience with him that night, that was the one that was in front of me. We were walking back and forth, mimicking each other and tapping noises, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Eulelio is asking, have you ever snuck up on one Bigfoot and thrown a rock at him and hit him on the back?
No, I haven't snuck up on one, but I did throw a rock at one on my property. That's on my videos. That's another one of my stories. Me and a friend were out in the middle of the desert one night looking for UFOs, and a Bigfoot, I think it was a juvenile, walked up on the gravel road in front of us about 20 feet. And long story short, because we don't have much time, I ended up throwing a rock at it because I didn't know what it was, and we were getting scared that whatever it was going to attack us, and then it chased us to my house. We went inside, the house really quickly, and it tackled the deck, the back deck.
Come on, this would have been like, WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
Yep.
That's pay-per-view stuff right there, buddy. Pay-per-view stuff.
That was crazy.
I bet. We got about 90 seconds here. I know it's really, really cool to have you back on the show after 3 years, man. I can promise you right now, that's not going to happen again. It's not. And I love you, man. And thank you for remembering us and being so gracious and quickly hopping on and saying, damn, yeah, you're coming back on the show. I really do appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate it too. Jesus loves you back. And anytime you want to have me on, man, I've got lots to say and plenty of experiences to share. May it be Bigfoot, UFOs, or ghosts. You let me know which topic you want.
And thank you to our listeners who've already subscribed to your YouTube channel, Breaking Bigfoot. Let everybody know where they can find what they can find on your YouTube channel, Breaking Bigfoot, if they subscribe.
If you subscribe on to Breaking Bigfoot, you will hear all my experiences. You will see my evidence, my theories. I do breakdowns on other videos that I think are cool or possibly hoaxes. But I try not to concentrate on those guys. But I got a little bit of everything on my channel, so it's not just entertaining to watch. It's something that you can share with the family. I try to keep it always PG, no cussing. And so the whole family can watch if you want to, just pop it on and enjoy an evening of Bigfooting.
Absolutely. And Jesus, thank you so much once again for coming on Spaced Out Radio. Really do appreciate that. Breaking Bigfoot is his YouTube channel. Go hit that subscribe button after the show. It's a beautiful channel from a beautiful guy. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. Can you pass me on Facebook Messenger your phone number and your email that I can send to Lorian?
Sure.
Yeah, she's pretty excited, and then you two can talk, and she'll probably want to get you on her show, and I don't blame her. And cool. We kind of go from there. And awesome. Hey, 416, how you doing? But if you could quickly do that, because she's all excited now. She's all excited.
For sure.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys can do that, man, because I'll be speaking down there too, so we could hang out.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Whoa. What do I do? Can you see me still?
You're kind of frozen, but that's okay.
2, 4, 2, 3.
That is a gorgeous necklace you got on. I've wanted to ask you about that all night. That's turquoise, and what's the red?
Jasper.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, made it myself.
Is that a Thunderbird?
Yep.
Very cool.
Okay, there's my phone number.
All right.
And my email address is pretty easy. It's BreakingBigfootCrew@mail.com.
BreakingBigfootCrew@mail.com.
Yep. And it's I put that on every one of my videos in the description, so anybody can email me with their experiences and stuff like that.
Wonderful. And it's not Gmail, it's just straight mail, right?
Yep. Mail.com. BreakingBigfootCrew@mail.com.
Perfect, buddy. I appreciate that. And so I think Lori and Fenton will get a hold of you here in the next little bit, and she takes good care of people. So yeah, let's get you in the door, because that'll usually her conferences lead to other conferences quite quickly.
That would be awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much, brother.
All right, my friend. You take care. Much love, okay?
You got my number.
I do. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Jesus Payan, everybody. How awesome is he? Right? How awesome is he? Seriously. Who thinks we should have him back on? Show of hands. Mm-hmm. Bad Bigfoot. Oh my God. Bad Bigfoot. Oh, that was fantastic. Fantastic. I promise you guys, sometimes I get caught up on this show with the booking and everything. Hi, gorgeous Bobby Younce. How are you? Rapala King, how are you? Welcome to our chat room. Appreciate you coming on in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll tell you, I forgot how good he was. I know him and I are friends and everything, but I forgot how good of a dude he was, and how great of a speaker, and how eloquent he is in describing his stories and his experiences. And, this was also a first for us, where I've been able to actually, during the interview, show you guys some Bigfoot footage like that. So I'm really excited, because I'm still learning this new system. I know we've been on it for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks now, but I'm still kind of learning it. Excuse me. And but I'm really getting confident with it, and I think that was really cool how we were able to throw the video in there of that Sasquatch, and then those photos of the aliens in there. Like, that was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Yeah, this was what a great show. What a great show with a great guy. Damn you, Vin. Damn you. So there was a big article in the province newspaper, which is our big newspaper today. I forgot to pick it up. I only saw the headline. But it was about the border opening up. And I'll tell you, I think there's a lot of pressure coming on the border to we rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Really do appreciate earning your listening ears. Want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Speaking of the news, the news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes the ufological. All of a sudden, serious people are starting to take UFOs seriously. There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't exactly know what they are, and we can't explain how they moved, their trajectory, said former President Barack Obama way back when he was on James Corden's show on CBS. Many Congress are curious too. And of course, this is the big month, and we're just, a few days away before we will receive a report originating from a Pentagon task force detailing its investigations into unidentified aerial phenomena. The Pentagon Office of the Inspector General is also evaluating the government's approach to UAPs with an eye to strengthening its monitoring and response. The highest levels of the American government are very, very interested in what's up there in the sky. Yes, the stigma that appears to be fading is that this is all crap. This is all science fiction. That this is all just tinfoil theory. In 1996, Gallup found that only 47% of Americans thought that people reporting UFO sightings were seeing something real and not imagining it. Now, fast forward to 2019, same poll again, and the majority, 56%, thought UFO observations were actually real. Interestingly, the share of Americans saying the government knows more about UFOs than it's telling us fell very slightly from 1996 to 2019. That may reflect the fact that the government has confirmed the reality of some of the most promising and prominent UFO videos. In fact, in a somewhat surprising development that helped kickstart the current round of UFO fascination, the government confirmed the authenticity of two videos featured in the New York Times story, which we already know about, and a third one leaked a few months later. Yeah, we still don't fully know the impact of these videos and what they depict, and at the risk of disappointing some people, can we call them aircraft? Can we call them UFOs? Can we call them UAP, or not some sort of hidden technology here on planet Earth? Yes, the resurgence in the interest of UFOs, the UAP, the preferred term in the Defense Department, can generally be credited to three specific videos. Of course, the Go Fast, the Gimbal, and the Tic Tac. Of course, this does not include the incidents that also happened in 2014 and 2019. Moving forward, where is this going to go? It all leads up to June 25th. Are you excited about it? I know I am. Are we going to get anything that's going to keep that excitement, though? That's the million-dollar question. We do not know at this time. We can only speculate. Apparently, the meetings are starting at the Pentagon. They've been going on for a couple of days, and they are expected to continue until the report comes out. One thing is for certain, though, from the reports we are hearing, you would not be expected to see anything that is of historic prior to 2004. This is allegedly confirmed by Luis Elizondo. They want to keep this current for right now. In that sweet spot where forestry meets technology, a Toronto-based startup called Flash Forest is employing aerial drones to plant trees 10 times quicker than a single worker planting with shovels, with a goal of planting a full 1 billion trees by 2028. This is actually kind of awesome. It really is. The company modifies drones to fire rapidly germinating tree seeds into the soil, combining technology software and ecological science to outperform traditional tree planting efforts at a time when accelerated global reforestation is much needed. Moreover, this technology does its job at a fraction of the cost and is 80% cheaper than traditional tree planting methods. The heavy lift drones are outfitted with a pneumatic firing system, which allows them to place the planting pods at the optimal depth into the soil. This allows the team to get into trickier areas where human planters wouldn't be able to enter. Each tree pod is handcrafted, containing at least 3 pre-germinated seeds and some other ingredients loved by plants, which are kept secret by the team. The process of planting the trees starts with the startup deploying mapping drones to assess the area. And then once the ideal places to plant are found based on the soil and existing plants are identified using software, a swarm of drones begins to hover in the area, dropping seed pods with precision. The pneumatic firing device comes in handy in steep terrain or mangrove forest, enabling the drones to propel seeds deeper into the soil. After planting, the team then tracks the process and deploys a spraying drone to give nutrients to the seedlings. And other drone is used to help keep an eye on the process of the plant's growth. Furthermore, seeds are then sprouted before planting, resulting in more effective growth and a robust root system. After the prototype devices were tested, the startup already planted trees throughout Ontario. The company wanted to bring the cost down to as cheap as 50 cents per pod. As of 2020, Flash Forest Technology can plant 10,000 to 20,000 seed pods each day. According to Fast Company, one day, a pair of pilots will be able to plant 100,000 trees daily. This is not the only instance of technology being used to look out for our forests. If you visited the one tribe section in the Amazon in Brazil, you'll notice a surprising tool used to keep an eye on deforestation. Yeah, drones. They're reporting poachers of trees. German police have appealed Friday for information about the possible owners of 2 17th century paintings that were discovered in a highway rest stop dumpster. Police say a 64-year-old man found the oil paintings at a rest stop near Ohrenbach in central Germany last month. He later handed them into police in the western city of Cologne. An initial assessment by an art expert concluded the 2 framed paintings were originals. One is a self-portrait by Pietro Bellotti, showing the Italian artist smiling and dating it to 1665. The other is a portrait of a boy by the 17th century Dutch artist Samuel van Hoogstraten. The date is unknown, but these paintings were not given a value. They're holding on to it until they can find if the original owner will come through. All right. Scary one here. An experienced motorcycle stunt rider has been killed in Washington state as he practiced for an attempt at a world record jump. Alex Harville crashed into a dirt berm during a warm-up jump at the Moses Lake Air Show on Thursday. The 28-year-old was thrown from his bike and taken to hospital where he later passed away. In a statement, the Grant County Sheriff's Department, Tom Jones, said an autopsy would be performed. Our deepest sympathies go out to Alex's family, friends, and loved ones. Video of the crash posted on YouTube was taken down Friday, although the images remain on several local news stations' website. The sites for the weekend air show at Grant County International Airport was still advertising the record jump. Harville was married with 2 young sons. He already had a Guinness World Record for a dirt-to-dirt category, having jumped 297.6 feet back in 2013. At the Washington event, he was riding a Suzuki 450 as he attempted to better rival Robbie Madison's 2008 world record in the ramp-to-distance category of 351 feet. Harville was born in California and lived in Ephrata, Washington, adjacent to Moses Lake with his wife Jessica and their sons. A GoFundMe appeal on the rider's website said Harville was the family's sole provider through motorcycle stunts and a farming job. The site had raised up to $42,000 at the time of this show. In an interview in the Columbia Basin Herald last month, Harville said he grew up watching the motorcycle daredevil Evel Knievel and shared his idol's legacy of pushing the limits. One of Harville's final Instagram posts 3 days before his death featured a photograph of his green and yellow motorcycle in front of the ramp with the words, "I'm getting excited to send this thing." Yes. Well, sent himself somewhere else. Godspeed, man. Jillian Cannon orders packages from her small businesses all the time. However, on June 5th, she started receiving Amazon packages at her doorstep that she didn't order. Lots of packages, some on pallets, some dropped off by huge delivery trucks. Over 100 packages later, Cannon of Buffalo, New York, was inundated with thousands of items she did not order or want. She initially thought the boxes were supplies her business partner ordered, but after opening some of them, she found they contained thousands of silicone support frames to use inside face masks in both adult and children's sizes. When I first started receiving the packages, I called Amazon to try and give them back, but they explained to me that they were officially mine to keep since they had been delivered to my home. Days went by and the parcels wouldn't stop coming. Some came from Amazon warehouse trucks, others from UPS and the U.S. Postal Service. Each package was addressed to Cannon's home, but no sender or return address was marked on the label. At one point, Cannon was speaking with Amazon representatives daily to try and determine what was happening, searching tracking records and scanning barcodes to find the person responsible. At first, I was convinced that it was a scam, or maybe someone tried to clearing out their warehouse, but because all of the items were the same, I don't think that's the case here. Meantime, packages continued to arrive, some showing up on pallets and huge delivery trucks, others piled up so high that the neighbor remarked that she couldn't see Cannon's front door. Good privacy measures now. Anyways, Cannon posted about the situation on her Facebook page, earning the attention of her community and local media. Finally, Amazon agreed to escalate the case, and Cannon eventually received a call that it had successfully tracked down the original order and removed her address from it, assuring her that she would not receive any more packages except for those already in transit. Stuck with hundreds of packages containing thousands of face mask brackets, Cannon consulted her 4 children on how they could use the items to make it something useful. Inspired by her business, which focuses on do-it-yourself style projects, the Cannon family and her business partner came up with a fun idea that would ensure their newly inherited inventory would not go to waste. We were just like, how can we get something positive out of this whole hilarious story? So her business partner and Cannon reached out to the children's hospitals, and we decided we wanted to do a decorate your own face mask, including the bracket in the little kit with a blank face mask and some crayons and stickers that kids can work on while they're in the hospital. That is awesome. Cannon also asked Amazon to donate the remaining supplies needed for the kit. In light of all that happened, she said it was at least they could do. Amazon initially denied the request, but Cannon said she is still negotiating with representatives and awaiting a final response. Amazon, of course, cannot be reached for comment. I'm trying to put it out on a positive spin, Cannon said. I have 4 little kids, and I'm trying to show them how to make lemonade out of lemons and just kind of run with it. That's a good story. You know what? As a kid, I was in Children's Hospital, and we got to do a bunch of crafts when I was in there, all right? And watching anything get donated to Children's Hospital and seeing and the kids light up their faces when they're in a bad and tough situation, I love it. I absolutely love it. Good for her for doing that. A New Hampshire homeowner's security camera recorded something odd. What did it record? How about a bear wandering up to the car, parked in the driveway, opening the door, and then going inside? This attempted animal auto thief showed the footage of the bear just kind of casually doing it like it's done it before. It was recorded outside the home in Thornton, New Hampshire, showing the bear opening the car door, going inside in an apparent search for food, probably some Taco Bell leftovers. Thornton Police Department said there have been multiple reports in recent days of a bear opening doors of parked cars and rummaging around inside for food and trash. Please remember to remove food items from your vehicles and do not leave your trash bags outside or in your trunks or truck beds, the department said on their Facebook post. Look, people, you're going to get this bear killed. All right? It's getting used to human food. You're going to get this bear killed. And it's not really the bear's fault. Do yourself a favor. Seal up your garbage cans. A visitor to Boston's New England Aquarium was allowed to enter the facility for free using a ticket that was issued in 1983. Rachel Carl, who is in Boston attending college, said her great aunt gifted her 2 New England Aquarium tickets that had been in her wallet for nearly 4 decades. The tickets were issued in 83, were known as late gate tickets, and were issued to guests who arrived too late in the day to get the full aquarium experience and promised a free makeup visit. The aquarium stopped issuing these tickets about 25 years ago, but Carl visited the facility June 11th, and staff agreed to honor the ticket she presented. I walked up to the ticket office and explained the story of the ticket, she said. They took the ticket, they took a look, they laughed, and said, well, it says come back anytime. There's no expiration date. Carl said she did not expect the aquarium to honor the 38-year-old ticket. I didn't know what to expect. I promised my great-aunt Kit I would try. Whether they honored it or not, she said, I would have been glad just to see the story through. We're glad that they honored it. Carl said aquarium staff told her they were considering hanging the ticket on the wall as a keepsake. She says she plans to do the same with the other ticket her aunt gave her. Admission to the aquarium is currently priced at $32 for an adult. And finally tonight, we can't end without a Florida man story. But this is the reason, people, that I tell you to stay out of the ocean. Only bad things happen when us humans enter salt water. Nothing good comes of that. Sure, there might be days of fun, okay, hanging out with some porpoises, doing a little kayaking, surfing, maybe some boating, yachting for those who speak with an underbite. Yes, let's go on the yacht, lovey. All right, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, I do. All right, a shark bit a Florida man who was swimming near a fishing line 40 yards from shore. That's not that far. Yep. Apparently, the man had visible wounds to his upper body and chest and was taken to local hospital where he is expected to recover. Firefighters said the shark was apparently heading for the fishing line that was out there, possibly mistook the man for bait. Of course it did. Yep, the fire district flew 2 double red flags, warning other swimmers in the area that there was sharks in there, believed to be between 7 and 8 feet in length. You know what those sharks do? They eat people. They do. Stay out of the water. Stay away from the sharks. It's their area. Let's just let them have their area. They're allowed some area too. Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because, you know, around here, we love the audience participation. We really do. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. Tell me a great woo story of your experiences. Start with Nick. I'm an amateur astronomer. 9 years ago, with my telescope out and laser pointers pointing to M87, a spiral galaxy, a big slow-moving object came across in the sky at maybe 25 miles an hour, blocked the laser pointers so the green beam hit the object. My first and only experience. Carl. Old house, didn't have a fence at the time, so I would have to let my dog outside the front. All of a sudden, everything got quiet. And then I look to my right. I see a tall, skinny shadow figure walk across the street. Me and my dog froze, couldn't move. So scary. And then it disappeared. Cherry Pepsi Mike. Me and my wife were walking down the street in Pittsburgh Flats when we walked past this old woman oddly standing in the doorway of an abandoned shop. She looked out of place and told my wife that she had a beautiful smile. When we turned around a few seconds later, the woman was gone. She vanished. See, that's creepy. That is creepy. Lori, I can't be a lifelong experiencer of the woo for many, many years. A paragraph couldn't cover it, Dave Scott. And the woo train still runs down the track, ending where? Who knows? Dave, at my grandmother's house, with my dad, 11 years old at the time. I am bored. Go upstairs, walk into the bedroom. A lady wearing a black dress, pearls, and black shoes was in there. She scolds me for being in there and escorts me out. I am in the hallway, puzzled. I go back in the room to ask who she is and what she is doing there. She scolds me and pushes me out of the room again. I go downstairs, ask my dad and grandmother who that was. My grandmother says, no one is up there. I describe her, then the mouth drops open and they tell me to stay with them. Years later, I find out it was my great-grandmother who had died several years earlier. The dress was her funeral dress. Well, there's nothing creepy about that. Thank you to everybody participating in the Thought of the Dave. We'll do it all again next time. Big thank you, Captain Shirk for the SOR Newswire, and Jesus Payan Jr. from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul talking Bigfoot and aliens. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight on YouTube, LGAB, Twitch, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the woo train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night. Guys, that was a solid show. That was solid radio right there. I'm just saying. That was solid radio right there. That was fun. That was a good night. You guys seriously got a good night of radio tonight, man. Seriously. You got a good night of radio. Do 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 do. I'm trying to learn how to play that right now. Hey, Duke, you got to get him on your show, man. Sounds a little out. Do 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 do. Oh, that sounds out. Yeah, that was a good show. That was a very good show. I'm very happy about that one tonight. Very happy about that one. Even the desert clam likes it because he was giving me thumbs up. Hey, has anybody else been noticing with Facebook that your chat windows, like the bottom inch of your screen, you can't do anything with it, and like you can't type until it all of a sudden like realizes, oh yeah, you're allowed to type here. Does anybody else notice that? I've been getting that for like 2 weeks. On regular Facebook, not on your phone, because my phone has been fine. But it's mainly been on like when you're on your computer on Facebook, when you open up Messenger on the side there. Hi, gorgeous Wendy Williams. Nope. Nope. I got to learn how to speed this up because that's the next part to hoop for whom the bell tolls. Oh, wow. Open-minded clarity. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really do appreciate that super chat. That's very nice. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to learn how to play right there. Except mine sounds like really slow right now. Like duh, 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 duh. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Boob, you've got pickle ricks. You ear licker, you. Wow. Thanks, Finn. Witchy. We'll figure that out. It's been a while since I've done that. What's there, Jean Beckett, the gorgeous and talented Jean Beckett. Hey, I saw the lovely Not Another Heather in here earlier. All right, so this is 9:30 to 10. Thanks, Fapster. Appreciate that. So lately, I've been, trying to figure out this whole Twitch thing because I don't really understand Twitch. Okay. I don't get it. But I'm starting to learn that there is a lot of perverts on Twitch. A lot of perverts. So the other day, I was checking out Twitch because I needed to. I honestly don't know how to work it. It is, to me, like real complicated. Okay. And I was telling Joe Monk this, that they got this whole section of live videos there, like people who are on live, like we are right now, where these girls have these weird microphones, I guess, and it looks like there's two wheels and like a metal piece holding them together, but they're not wheels. They're like rubber circles, kind of like an inner tube. And then on the inside or on the outside of those rubber circles, there's ears there. And there's this whole section that all these girls do, wherever they're going live from, is licking these plastic ears. And they are getting like major donations from all of these horny, weird people who are literally licking the ears of watching these girls lick their ears of these microphones. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like there's something wrong with that. There's totally something wrong with it. You can go on there right now. I can't due to, violations or anything. Valro, you're right. It is a cesspool. Hey, everybody's got their kink. I'm okay with that. Okay, everybody's got their thing. But to think that there are people out there who literally are paying money or whatever these bit things are to watch girls licking rubber ears. This is a thing, people. I'm not even bullshitting you. You could go on Joe Monk in the chat room, okay? Because Joe and I talk quite a bit. And he's a longtime listener and a longtime friend. And I sent him a message the other day. I said, can you believe this shit? Right? And he's like, oh my, this is wrong. And I'm like, yeah, it's wrong. Yeah. Live ear licking. Live ear licking, people. This is where we are as a society. Then we wonder where we're going wrong. Because there's young, beautiful ladies with channels out there that literally all subscribe to licking ears, rubber ears on camera and get paid. I don't know what a bit is or what it's worth or whatever. I don't know. But all they do is get paid to lick ears. It's terrible. Oh, I have no problem with people being different. Do what you feel is right. Do whatever you feel, whatever makes you comfortable. Hold on, I gotta find this shit here. So this is number 4. So 1051. It's 35. 45. 45. 47, 49, 51 should be right around here. Holy cow.
Yeah, when I was shooting, couldn't see them. Like I said, right there, that's before I brightened it and, had it sharpened. See it right there? You can't see them that well because they're kind of back. And just the light off of the flashlight is.
See what I mean, Carol Burke? Holy cow.
Yeah, when I was shooting, taking the images, at my angle, I couldn't see that. not until I was able to get home and look on the on the computer did I was like, holy shit, I got
There
him.
it is.
Oh crap! And I could see what not until I was able to get home and look on the on the computer did I was like, holy shit, I got.
Thanks, Chris Mack. Appreciate that. Honestly, that ear licking thing bugs me. It really does. I don't think I'm aging myself either. I don't think shut up, old man. I don't think I've reached that category yet. I really don't. But that really, really, like, I just look at it like, huh? Really? Really? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Ear licking. That's a thing. Pay me bits and money to lick ears, and if you pay me enough, I will write your name on my skin. It's the world we live in. We're going to call you Booby Carls now. Booby Carls drawing anime boobies on everything. Really? I did that again. Oh, there it goes. Just shut this down. Hello, Steam Train Mark in Australia. How's later today looking? That's up to you, man. If you like the ear licking thing, you go for it. All I'm saying is that, it's a weird, weird planet out there, man. It's not my cup of tea. Ear licking people. Yes, of course. Lynn will be Lynn will be on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern for 2 hours. She's talking to Tim Morrison about demonology. Captain Shirk's favorite topic. It's true. Can't do it in this chair. Damn it. I'm getting better, Vin. I'm getting better. This one doesn't tune too well anymore. This one's almost retired. It's too bad because I love this guitar. I do. I did get the edit, Jeffy. I totally got the edit. Hey, Jiggy Norris, what's happening? I'm learning. I've only had 3 lessons, but I'm learning. I'm practicing almost every day. So there's my out. Starting to recognize how out this is. There. I'm happy. Are you happy now there, Joe's Maine? Thanks, Vinny. Vinny, go back to the ear licking. Have a good weekend, Clam. Night all, Jenny. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I just got to load these up. Good night, awesome Aussie Ange. Joe, if you want this guitar, let's talk. You think you can fix it? It's pretty beat up. It's got a couple chunks out of it. Barther L, I don't know where he is. He's like a fart in the wind. One moment he's there, the next minute he's gone. You never know with what Barther L is doing. Have I warned Michael Hall about your chat? What's going on there, Vin? Hi, Rapallo King. Oh, your ghost site. Now you're a fishing reel. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's fine, Vin. I don't think half the time he pays attention to the chat room. All right, Oob. Bombshell Bomber has arrived after sleeping right through the night. There she is, everybody. There she is. Oob, you totally have guitar hair. Joe Monk also plays a very mean bagpipes. Just saying. I feel like I hit the wall. Oh, I hit my wall. Love the bagpipes. I can't do it right now. Oh. Vin, you're getting me mistaken with Fap's head. That's totally Fap. Totally Fap. All right, everyone. Tomorrow night on the show, it's Lynn Wallington. She'll be talking demonology. And 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. I know you guys are really starting to enjoy that one because I could see the numbers. Saturday night, it's Michael W. Hall hanging out with all of us as we go 7 days a week here on Spaced Out Radio. I want to say a big thank you to all of our super chatters tonight and throughout the week. Tonight it was Ed, it was Major Lee, it was Andrew, Sinister, Carl again, Patrick, Chris, Pepper, Carl again, and Open-Minded. Really appreciate that. Much love to everybody. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Who will I have on Monday? I'm going to have a media panel leading up to the 25th. I've got Stephen Greenstreet coming on from the New York Times. I have Ryan Recker coming on from KMOX News in St. Louis. He used to do Overnight America. I have let me check here. Michael Huntington, UFO researcher and freelance journalist. I have Mark Petroni from Saga 960 in Mississauga, Ontario. I have Tim McMillan and Bruce Claggett all joining us. It's probably going to be a 3-hour full show on Monday, so that's going to be good. I'm looking for one. Oh, no, I know who I got to add here. All right. No. And we're going to have a power week. There's going to be lots of panels this coming week. So tune on in. It's going to be great. We will check you all out next week, man. Much love to each and every one of you. Have a safe and happy weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to support Lynn and to support Michael as well. Much love.